News.
Protesters boycott a popular Southwest St. Louis restaurant. I'm Maria Aquino with its connection to the St. Louis Police Department.
I'm Debbie Monterrey.
I'm Sean Malone. Could a new bill about working with ICE in St. Charles County create a Minneapolis situation? I've got that story coming up.
I'm Tom Ackerman in Jupiter. The Cardinals will be leaving here this morning. Get ready for a new look club. They're younger. Manager Ollie Marmol explains at 6:15.
This is AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg. Sun will give way to increasing clouds today, but it will be much colder than recent days, high only 53.
More news ahead from CBS News. 2 people are dead in a runway collision between a plane and a fire truck that shut down New York's LaGuardia Airport.
Celebrating 100 years of informing and entertaining. KMOX AM St. Louis, KMOX FM Hazelwood, the voice of St. Louis.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by JTV.com.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. Disaster at an airport in New York.
Frontier 4195, just stop there, please. Stop, truck one, stop. Stop, truck one, stop.
2 pilots killed when an Air Canada regional jet collided with a fire truck on a runway at LaGuardia. Dozens of people were hurt. Transportation correspondent Chris Van Cleve.
The controller cleared that fire truck to cross runway 4, then quickly realized that he had just put it on a collision course with this airplane, pleaded with that fire truck to stop, but it was too late.
CBS's Bradley Blackburn is in New York.
Photos show the mangled front of the plane lifted into the air after that collision. Its cabin and front landing gear just destroyed. The tail of the jet on the tarmac. Passengers were apparently taken off the plane via a staircase.
Port Authority says the fire truck was responding to a separate incident. The airport is expected to remain closed until 2 p.m. ICE agents descend on U.S. airports this morning to try to ease massive lines now leading to hours-long delays. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy tells ABC.
TSA agents are law enforcement. They know how to pat people down. They know how to run the X-ray machines because they are, again, under Homeland Security with TSA. So if we can bring in other assets and tools to assist TSA to get rid of these lines, I think that makes a lot of sense.
At the heart of the issue, TSA sickouts triggered by the partial government shutdown, which is at a political impasse. Now to the Iran war. A deadline is quickly approaching for reopening a critical waterway to energy shipments. Correspondent Charlie D'Agata reports from Tel Aviv.
So the clock is now ticking after President Trump warned Iran that if it doesn't open the Strait of Hormuz completely, the U.S. will obliterate Iran's power plants. Iran's responded by saying they'll shut down that vital waterway indefinitely if that happens.
Oil prices are on the rise, and the average price for a gallon of regular gasoline here in the U.S., it's $3.96 a gallon this morning. There was a suspected arson attack overnight in the U.K.
I'm Vicky Barker in London. Scotland Yard says it's treating as an anti-Semitic hate crime last night's arson attack on 4 ambulances belonging to a Jewish charity.
There's a very new law targeting ambulances in our community.
Ushi Gross, one of about 30 local residents forced to evacuate after gas canisters in the ambulances blew up.
With things like this, who would feel safe?
Dow futures are down 379. This is CBS News.
Looking for spring jewelry looks? Find them at Jewelry Television. New customers get $20 off purchases of $99 or more at JTV.com.
It is now 6:03, and in downtown St. Louis, we've got mostly clear skies. It's 39 degrees. I'm Debbie Monterrey. And I'm Megan Lynch. ICE agents are going to be deployed in U.S. airports starting today. Border Czar Tom Homan was asked on CNN if ICE agents are trained to handle security at airports.
The ICE agents are assigned at many airports across the country already. They do a lot of criminal investigation on smuggling at airports.
Missouri Congressman Wesley Bell, in a social media post, says he supports defunding ICE.
St. Louis families should never live in fear.
It's not known if ICE agents will be deploying to Lambert Airport. KMOX is waiting to hear from airport authorities. A new bill introduced in St. Charles County would create greater collaboration between ICE and local law enforcement.
They think it's going to be what you saw in Minneapolis. And this is the complete opposite of that.
The bill sponsor, Councilman Mike Elam, he tells KMOX this bill is the best way to keep ICE agents out of St. Charles County.
We will have a couple of officers who will go through advanced training from ICE to learn process and procedure and what that looks like. We are not, to be clear, going to be working as ICE in St. Charles County.
Elam says their training will help teach the officers what to do when a situation arises that may require ICE, such as an arrest with ties to human trafficking. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
Protesters encouraging people to boycott Chris's Pancake House on Southwest Avenue. The boycott due to the restaurant's owner, Chris Saraceno, being the president of the St. Louis Board of Police Commissioners.
Saraceno and the board are at odds with the city because they have proposed adding $47 million to the budget.
We need to follow this and track this because, okay, state has control. This doesn't mean we don't have a say. We're citizens. We're taxpayers. We want accountability. So all we can do is raise our voices and push back to these unelected board members that have a lot of power, and we don't know who they're accountable to in our city.
Chris Saraceno, when talking with KMOX, was asked about why the department needs so much more money than what the city has budgeted.
$250 million reflects roughly about 18% of the city's general revenue and demonstrates what Chief Tracy needs to operate the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department efficiently and to fulfill his mission to deliver the highest standard of public safety.
St. Louis Mayor Kara Spencer has said that type of money will bankrupt the city. Maria Aquina, KMOX News.
2 men and 3 others injured Sunday afternoon in a shooting that happened outside a smoke shop on the 1400 block of North 13th by Cass. 2 men were killed. They were aged 30 and 21 years old. 3 other victims are in critical condition. St. Louis police say it was the result of a gunfight between several people. A 26-year-old man has been taken into custody. It's 6:06. The data center debate continues in Jefferson County. There's a public meeting planned at Festus High School tonight at 5.
This is Stuart McMillan. The city of Festus has already scheduled a follow-up meeting for March 30th to possibly make a final decision about the $6 billion data center proposed by CRG. Meetings have been packed recently with unhappy residents against the data center. And that's why the bigger venue is needed. Mayor Sam Richards of Festus plans to support the project. The development near Highway 67 could generate $1.3 billion in tax revenue and community benefits over 25 years. Festus would receive $45 million over just a decade, including funds for a new city firehouse. Some are concerned about light and noise pollution, but the plan would allow homeowners who live close to the site the option of being bought out.
Average gas prices in the St. Louis region continue to rise. Gas Buddy reporting prices rose 25 cents per gallon in the past week, averaging $3.78 today. The average is $1 more than it was a month ago and 1 cent higher than the current national average gas price. Head of petroleum analysis at Gas Buddy, Patrick DeHaan, says it appears increasingly likely the national average will soon hit $4. Temperatures yesterday broke the daily record set over 100 years ago in St. Louis. The National Weather Service says the city's high of 90 degrees yesterday broke the old record of 88, which was set in 1907. They report the new high is the second highest temperature ever recorded in March in St. Louis. From the KMOX business desk, the former superintendent of St. Louis Public Schools is suing for wrongful termination. Millicent Borishade says she was fired for retaliation after uncovering and reporting widespread misconduct and legal violations, like misuse of public funds, payroll fraud, and immigration compliance violations. She names the school district, the teachers union, and district officials. She was fired just 8 months into the job. Before that, she was the interim superintendent taking over for Dr. Keisha Scarlett, who had a bumpy and short tenure. Her lawsuit seeks damages in excess of $25,000 for reputational harm, emotional distress, and lost wages. The suit filed in St. Louis Circuit Court Friday. It is 6:08. Traffic and weather are next.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
Hey, it's Dave. Right now, buy 2 windows and get 2 free and 0% financing for 36 months, plus $500 off your project. Call 314-334-2522. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
Experience power, beauty, and bold imagination with the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra in Beethoven's Emperor Concerto, Radiant Vision. Acclaimed pianist Vikingur Olafsson returns to perform Beethoven's heroic Emperor Piano Concerto alongside Kevin Putz, led by music director Stefan Denev. March 27th and 28th at Powell Hall at the Jack C. Taylor Music Center. Tickets at slso.org.
Larry Older here. You know, one of the most rewarding parts of sharing Relief Factor with you is hearing real stories like that of Sandra. She tells us, I've been hearing about Relief Factor on the radio for a couple of years, and I finally decided to try it because nothing else was helping my back pain. I know the feeling. With a 3-week quick start, she said, I went for it. Now I feel like a new person. That's Sandra's own words, and it's so gratifying to hear. I've told you about my brother Kirk having difficulty going up and down the stairs in the morning. He wouldn't listen to me. I told him to take Relief Factor. He finally did. Began moving better, feeling stronger. Too bad he didn't listen earlier. Try it for yourself. The 3-week quick start. And see how Relief Factor could be your game changer too. It is only $19.95. Think about it. Do the math. Less than $1 a day. So call 800-4RELIEF. That's 800-4RELIEF, or go to relieffactor.com. All one word, relieffactor.com. How will it feel to be out of pain? 800-4RELIEF, relieffactor.com.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts.
Let's see how things are moving on the roads for you now. At 610, Roger Brand is in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, unfortunately, Megan, this is a confirmed fatality crash on eastbound 270. I've been talking about an overturned vehicle at Lilac. So traffic is being diverted off at Lilac, eastbound 270. Now, it looks to me, from my vantage point, like you just get across Lilac at the signal there and you can get back on eastbound 270. But obviously, there's a wait to get off. At the exit, it's single file, and it's jammed almost back to Bell Fountain on eastbound 270. The good news is westbound 270 drivers are not slowing for a look so far. And then downtown, I can't tell if it's a stall or a crash in the left pair of lanes, westbound 64. It looks like they may have just cleared it. The front end's opening up a bit, but the left pair of lanes, westbound 64, are jammed just west of the Kingbridge exit, headed for the Poplar right now. So stick to the right-hand side, and you'll make a little bit better time coming through there. But it looks like they may have that cleared, so we'll keep tabs on that as well. Next update at 6:20 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Today will be dramatically colder than recent days. Sun will give way to increasing high clouds. Our high only 53. Chilly night ahead. Mostly cloudy skies. Might be a sprinkle, low 37. Intervals of clouds and sun tomorrow, and not as chilly. The high is 61. Partly sunny, much warmer Wednesday with a high of 83. In fact, the record is 84, set at 1907. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It is 39 degrees with mostly clear skies right now in downtown St. Louis.
More news now at 6:12. As we've told you, Six Flags St. Louis trading corporate hands in a $331 million deal. The Eureka theme park, along with 6 other properties across North America, now owned by EPR Properties.
But what does a real estate investment trust want with a collection of regional roller coasters the parent company was eager to dump? Former Bush Entertainment Corporation executive Scott Swenson says you have to look at the upside for the buyers.
I'm just going to use the phrase, one man's trash is another man's treasure.
Yep.
So underperforming parks for Six Flags may be the highest performing parks for EPR.
EPR is bringing in a veteran management team called Enchanted Parks to run the on-the-ground operations. For now, the turnstiles will keep spinning as usual, with all Six Flags season passes being honored through 2026.
Independence, Missouri police make a shocking discovery: fentanyl inside a child's toy at a discount store. KCTV's Ali Espinoza says police say the potentially fatal drug was found inside Barbie doll packages at a discount store.
Security called police, who tested the substance on the spot. It did come back positive for fentanyl.
The founder of a widely recognized workplace leadership philosophy has died.
Bob Chapman, the chairman of Clayton-based Barry Waymiller, passed away from leukemia. He was 80. Chapman spent 5 decades building Barry Waymiller into a global manufacturing giant, growing it from a $20 million brewing equipment supplier to more than $3.5 billion in annual revenue, through more than 150 acquisitions. But Chapman became equally known for what he called truly human leadership, a management philosophy centered on treating employees with dignity and care. His 2015 book on the subject became a Wall Street Journal bestseller. Chapman reflected on his connection to the region in 2017 on KMOX with Charlie Brennan, talking about a waterfall his family funded at Shaw Park in Clayton.
It's our family. It's kind of in honor of my mother and father to kind of give back to this community that's been so meaningful to our family since, I was born and raised in Ferguson. Clayton was always this special place that we would visit as young kids.
Chapman handed company leadership over to his son Kyle this year. He is survived by his wife Cynthia and their children. Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
The retiring head of St. Louis Public Library proposing a fundraising campaign for an endowment for Central Library. Waller McGuire, who's been director and CEO of the library system since 2004, oversaw the $70 million renovation and restoration of the Central Library downtown, which in 2012 received numerous architectural awards and international attention.
McGuire tells the Business Journal that the building's scale and age make it particularly costly to operate, and the endowment could help share those costs. Last year, Central Library drew more than 250,000 visitors, making it one of the area's biggest attractions. It's 6:15.
I'm Tom Ackerman in Jupiter, Florida. The Cardinals leave here this morning and head to Springfield, Missouri. They will take on the Springfield Cardinals, their AA affiliate, on KMOX tonight. 6:05 start from Hammonds Field. Dustin May will start the game. Whether he starts for the Cardinals or the Springfield Cardinals remains to be seen. But at any rate, May, the number 3 starter in the Cardinals rotation, will get his final tune-up. Yesterday, that assignment went to Michael McGreevy, and he flourished. He is 4-0 with a 2.45 ERA as we close the Grapefruit League. 5 innings pitched yesterday, allowed 1 run on 3 hits. No walks, 5 strikeouts as the Cardinals beat the Astros 3-2. And Jordan Walker hit a home run in the game, a long home run to left center field, his first of the spring. Walker is only 23 years old. McGreevy is 25 to that point, and the Cardinals have been very adamant about this. They have players who they can grow with, and manager Ali Marmol says,
I think that's why there's a lot of enthusiasm, because they know that they're going to be together for a while, and this is the group that they need to learn how to win with. So a lot of questions early in camp were around leadership, as far as like who's that leader, and I don't think you have to have a guy. I think each person stepping into that next phase of leadership for them is important, but that room has done a nice job of speaking into that and then talking through how they're going to hold each other accountable to the style of play. So that's the one thing I can guarantee is there'll be a style of play that I think is exciting to watch.
After today's game, the Cardinals will head home to St. Louis, and they will take on the Rays Thursday at Busch Stadium on opening day. No position player announcements just yet. The Cardinals could do that as early as today. They need to have conversations with everybody and discuss what the 13 position players are going to look like. We already know the 13 pitchers, 5 starters, and 8 members of the bullpen, 6 right-handed relievers and 2 lefties. College basketball yesterday at Enterprise Center. Purdue beat Miami 79-69 to advance to the Sweet 16, and Iowa State did the same, blasting Kentucky 82-63. St. John's knocks off Kansas in a matchup of Rick Pitino and Bill Self, 67-65 for St. John's on a buzzer beater. Tennessee beat Virginia 79-72. How about Iowa? They beat the number 1 seed Florida, a 9-1 in Tampa, mind you, 73-72. That's the first trip to the Sweet 16 for the Hawkeyes since 1999. Arizona beat Utah State 78-66. UConn also advances, knocking off UCLA 73-57, and Alabama blew out Texas Tech 90-65. We have game time for Illinois. They'll play Houston in Houston on Thursday night at 9:05 Central Time for their Sweet 16 matchup. In Jupiter, Florida with the Cardinals, I'm Tom Ackerman on the home of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Pump up the volume. Business moves fast. Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/ground advantage to learn more.
Jen, I didn't know you shopped here.
Hey, I'm hunting for something fresh for spring.
Oh, girl, skip them all. Jewelry Television has the best spring looks right now.
JTV, way ahead of you. Just hit up JTV.com yesterday, scored the cutest clover earrings, 2 tennis bracelets, and this gorgeous pearl ring.
Right now, new customers get $20 off any purchase of $99 or more at JTV.com.
Oh, and gold hoops and this turquoise bracelet.
Just a couple things, huh?
Maybe more than a couple.
Tom Ackerman in Jupiter, the Missouri Athletic Club. Now we're 2 months away from the MAC pool opening. The MAC West is one of the great spots all summer. It's amazing how fast this goes sometimes. I know it was a long winter in some respects, but before you know it, they take the cover off the pool, they fill it up, they get it all ready to go, they clean off the deck and the pool chairs, which are brand new, and the new bar that they set up outside, 1903 upstairs, the Stan Musial Grill, the snack bar, so many options at the Missouri Athletic Club. It's just a great summer complex for everybody. The kids are happy, the parents are happy, our guests are happy. The Missouri Athletic Club is that happy place for us in the summer. The Missouri Athletic Club, not only MAC West, but of course downtown, and opening later this spring, the MAC Clayton. They're putting the finishing touches on that. The Missouri Athletic Club, you can visit us online, read more about us, mac-stl.org.
Total Information AM on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
It is 6:20. This is Total Information AM. I'm Debbie Monterrey, along with Megan Lynch and Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, there's no change, unfortunately, on 270 in North County, Debbie. This traffic reports the service of the St. Louis Work Zone Awareness 5K and 1 mile fun run. Eastbound 270 is still closed at Lilac, so you have to get off of the Lilac exit, and then it looks like you can just cross over Lilac and re-enter eastbound 270. The jam goes back to Bellefonte Road, a solid backup. Good news, though, westbound 270 not slowing for a look there right now. And I mentioned it looks like they were clearing that incident we had westbound 64 before the Poplar Street Bridge. They have cleared it, and everything has completely thinned out for you there, so that's good news. Seeing a little volume on northbound 55 now as we get closer to 630. The right lane's Butler Hill up to 270, and all lanes between Bayless and Weber just a little busy. North 270 approaching 64 is also a little slow. Next update at 630 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
And
help us raise awareness for safe driving as the construction season kicks off with the St. Louis Work Zone Awareness 5K and 1 mile fun run, Saturday, April 25th in Chesterfield. And please buckle up, phone down so we all get home safe. Brought to you by Missouri Coalition for Roadway Safety.
Well, it's going to be a colder day today. Sun's going to fade behind increasing cloudiness as we head through today. A high just 53 degrees, cloudy and chilly tonight with an overnight low of 37. And then a mix of clouds and sun tomorrow, a high of 61. We have partly cloudy skies now, 39 degrees downtown at the Arch.
It is 6:21, and the news continues. An unmitigated disaster. That's how Illinois Governor Pritzker is describing the Trump presidency.
What is the Illinois Republican Party doing to help everyday people? Nothing. Nothing. They want to roll out the red carpet for Donald Trump and his failed policies. Not once have they lifted a finger when Trump is closing rural hospitals or taking food away from poor children. When Trump took child care and education funding away from working families, Illinois Republicans cheered him on.
Pritzker adds gas prices are skyrocketing, measles are back, and Illinoisans have been sent abroad to fight another Middle Eastern war.
They prefer managed decline so long as they're in power. This Senate was not sent here to manage decline.
Missouri Senator Eric Schmidt on the Senate floor referring to Democrats who are opposed to the Save America Act legislation.
Working families in Missouri and across this nation are done. Done with citizenship being treated like a suggestion. Done with their daughters being erased in the name of inclusion. Done with their children being targeted by an ideology that profits from permanent harm. This is the moment of truth.
Schmidt says Americans didn't send Republicans to D.C. to preside over the death of a country.
A Missouri bill sitting on the governor's desk aims to help police fighting crimes committed by juveniles.
State Senator Nick Schroer of St. Charles County says his bill would allow police to remove the blindfold when fighting juvenile crime. His bill would require juvenile officers to share criminal history data with existing law enforcement systems to create a database police and prosecutors can finally access.
Combining of databases, so to speak, to give law enforcement and the criminal justice system the tools to look at these cases, including prosecutors, including police that, you may come up to a group of kids that are rambunctious or have had complaints, and you can kind of see, okay, well, this kid's been arrested 5 times this week, and we heard from police that was happening.
The legislation also requires juvenile officers to consider every charge submitted by police when deciding whether to hold them. Schroer says that would prevent the juvenile from
being back out on the streets before the police would even process the paperwork.
Stuart McMillan, KMOX News.
It's now 6:24. If you're not familiar with Safe Place for Youth, there are some 900 stores, libraries, fire stations, and QT locations that are designated as safe places.
So if a youth comes into a Quick Trip, a library, and they're like, is this a safe place? I need help. And let's say it's a youth that has somewhere at home that is safe. Their parents haven't abused them. It's a fine situation. But let's say that youth hasn't eaten in 48 hours or 72 hours. That could actually be a situation where a youth can go into a safe place.
People working at these safe place locations have received instructions about what to do if a youngster comes in needing help. Cornish adds, his street outreach team then responds.
Responding to the youth, going to the location that's a quick trip or library, and bringing resources like food. Sometimes we've had a safe place situation where a youth does have a safe place to go, like at night. They have a home, but also they just need like a coat, or they need hand warmers, or they may need food. So basically, safe place is way more than just getting homeless kids or runaway youth off of the streets and like into shelters. I'm trying to remind the community in general that it's a way that we not only help youth in the area, but there are potentials to help parents if there is a need that they're struggling to keep up with or meet. And I know that that's a hard thing to go through as a parent, because you want to be there for them like 110%, of course, every parent does. But there's some things that youth just need extra help with. And that's why our team, we try to have resources like clothes, hygiene items, including feminine products, contraceptives, things like that, things that may cost more than a family can afford to. So we just try to be there to prevent housing instability and prevent youth homelessness as well. So in some cases, it may be, what are the steps that my team can take to make sure this youth doesn't end up on the street, or in support of their parents, so they can have successful lives as a family.
The St. Louis Science Center is a safe place too. Are there signs posted so that a young person in crisis knows, hey, I can get help here?
Yeah, so anywhere where the sign is posted or there's a decal on the door, a youth can come in as long as they're 19 and younger. So I always say school aged, so like middle school, high school. We don't typically work with the population like 10 and under, but we always can, like, of course, help a kid that's like younger than that, that's like maybe separated from their parents or something. But yeah, it's basically anywhere in the area where you see, like, there's a big aluminum sign you'll see on all the firehouses, libraries, and Quick Trips. But also we have some other retailers like Walgreens. We're actually, every Walgreens in this area, like 100 square miles, is also a safe place.
Maria Kina, KMOX News.
It is now 6:27, and that time check is sponsored for you by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Let's talk for a moment about your backyard. You probably spent some time outside this weekend. I don't know how much yard work you did, because it got kind of hot there for a while and then really cold. But anyway, maybe you did assess the situation and decide what you really need in your outdoor space. You definitely need to call Chesterfield Fence and Deck. Chesterfield Fence and Deck is the sign you have the very best. They've been around since 1968. They are a locally owned company, a fourth generation family owned company, and they have an incredible reputation. All of these things are important because oftentimes people choose who they hire solely based on the rock bottom price, and that does not always work out. Chesterfield Fence and Deck is a great value because they have their own installation teams with years of experience. They stand behind everything they do, always the highest quality products. And this is going to be something that lasts for years to come. And that makes it a great value. They'll also offer you 48 months interest-free financing if you tell them Debbie Monterey sent you. So stop by their beautiful showroom and warehouse in the Chesterfield Valley, or they'll come to you. Go to chesterfieldfence.com to get all the information and to make an appointment today. Chesterfield Fence and Deck, the sign you have the very best.
Attention all dog owners. If you have ever listened to the radio or TV for any length of time, you've probably heard of America's #1 dog supplement, Rough Greens. Greetings, naturopathic Dr. Dennis Black, Amazon best-selling author and founder of Rough Greens here. And if your dog suffers from bad breath, itchy skin, licking paws, joint pain, or low energy, the truth is their food is probably to blame. You see, all commercial dog food is dead food. That's why I created Rough Greens. One daily scoop gives your pup the live vitamins, omega oils, probiotics, and enzymes that will bring their food back to life. Don't believe me? Let your dog try it before you buy it. I'll send you a free Jumpstart trial bag, risk-free. You just cover the shipping. Go to roughgreens.com. That's RUFFgreens.com. Use discount code NEWS. Don't wait. Give your dog the gift of vibrant health. Order now. It'll be at your house in a few days. Go to roughgreens.com. That's RUFFgreens.com. Discount code NEWS for your free Jumpstart trial bag today. Rough Green. We make any dog food better.
Hey guys, Glover here with my very, very good friend, Dr. Kathy Maupin at BioBalanceHealth.com. If you have reached that certain age and you're just not feeling very well and nothing's working the way it used to work, go see Dr. Kathy. She is not only a medical doctor, she is a patient of this bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. It absolutely works. It's a long-term solution. She is an artist when it comes to helping you with your hormones. BioBalanceHealth.com for Dr. Kathy Maupin.
Ready to hit a home run with your backyard? Call Artistic Decks. We're celebrating 25 years of A-plus service with massive rollback pricing. Get a professional custom-built deck for less. Hit it out of the park with Artistic Decks. Call 314-280-0821 today.
At 6:30, we have cloudy skies, 39 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Megan Lynch.
I'm Debbie Monterey, and this is Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, there's still no change in North County, unfortunately. If you're traveling eastbound on 270 this morning, it may be a while before they reopen it. You have to get off at Lilac because of unfortunately, a fatal crash that occurred there just a little while ago. So there's a jam back through Bellefonte Road now, eastbound 270. Again, it looks like you just go up the exit ramp, wait for the signals, and you can get back on the highway then using the on-ramp at that point. But it is jammed, and it'll be out there for a while, I'm sure. Northbound Highway 270 got a little more volume. It's slow north of Doherty Ferry to Manchester and Clayton Road up to 64. Northbound 55, the right lanes, Butler Hill, Mattis are kind of slow. Bayless up through Holly Hills looks a little busy. Out to the west, we're still okay. Southbound 61, eastbound 70, eastbound 64 coming out of Wentzville. And downtown, we're okay. Westbound 64. Back to seeing a little bit of a backup, but they had an earlier incident at the Poplar. They cleared it, but it looks like there may be a new one now. Again, it's those left pair of lanes west of 3rd Street near Tudor, actually, and it's jammed back past the Kingbridge exit right now. It's also a little slow at 159. Next update at 6:40 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Colder today. We'll see some clouds with a high of 53 degrees. Cloudy and chilly tonight. The overnight low is going to get down to 37 degrees. And then tomorrow, just slightly warmer, clouds and sunshine mixed, a high of 61. We have partly cloudy skies, 39 degrees downtown at the Arch.
It is 6:32. Could a new bill in St. Charles County bring a surge of ICE agents? Not according to the bill's sponsor, Mike Elam. He says this bill is meant to create a better collaboration between local law enforcement and ICE, keeping agents out of St. Charles County.
In Minneapolis is a community that refused to work with the federal government. So the federal government felt they had to put officers, troops, if you will, in those neighborhoods to go do the job.
Elam says his bill will have officers train on what to do when situations that would involve ICE arise, but they won't be looking for them.
We are not, to be clear, going to be working as ICE in St. Charles County. So you're not going to have our officers coming off their current job and going to patrol neighborhoods looking for people who are undocumented in the neighborhood.
Elam says his bill helps keep St. Charles County as the safest community in the region.
We're just tracking it, and we're calling other people to become aware. It's going to go to the board. It's going to go to E&A. It's going to committees.
One of about 24 protesters talking exclusively with KMOX Sunday afternoon about the St. Louis Board of Police Commissioners' budget request The group gathered outside of Chris's Pancake House on Southwest Avenue because the restaurant's owner, Chris Saraceno, is also the president of the new state-appointed police board.
Saraceno and the other commissioners approved a $250 million budget, some $47 million more than the city has budgeted for. Saraceno says they also need major infrastructure repairs to buildings many people never even knew existed.
Throughout this budget process, and as a part of our expenditure request, we must ensure the appropriate amount of money that is transferred to the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department to help us care for the additional properties. Significant deferred maintenance has accumulated across numerous police facilities throughout the city of St. Louis.
We want to know where this huge amount of money is going. We have some serious needs here.
Saraceno could not give KMOX an exact dollar amount of just how much the repairs will cost.
I'm not an expert on building maintenances, but I do know by the looks of things that the quality and standards are not up to the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department standards that we need for our officers.
Maria Aquina, KMOX News.
It is now 6:34, and the news is sponsored for you by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. We've got your Money Minute from Bloomberg coming up next.
Hey guys, it's Dave from The Glover Show, trying to explain The Glover Show. So when I was a younger man, I used to go to happy hour almost every night, and I loved it. And I've always thought of my show as being like happy hour. It's always interesting. It's often silly, but not always. You know, there are real things to talk about. I am amongst friends, politics, and personal things. So that's what it is, really. It's happy hour for thousands of us every day between 1 p.m. and 5 p.m. And I hope you'll tune in and join the happy hour.
I'm fixing to tell you something that the insurance industry does not want you to ever hear. Bullies often delay and deny. I see them sitting on premiums paid and making money and dragging it out for as long as they can. Many times we're forced to take them to court. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Their high-paid lobbyists are on a mission to make sure that at trial, jurors are not allowed to learn that the at-fault party has insurance, and in some cases, lots of it. I can think of no case in all my years where there was no insurance for the at-fault party. So let's fight back. It's all these bullies understand. Tell everybody you know the truth. If you've been injured in a car crash or hurt at a store or business, visit forthepeople.com. We're here 24/7. It's that easy. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
6:36, time for your Money Report, sponsored by Eamon Gattner and Capriano Elder Law Attorneys.
This is the Bloomberg Money Minute. Fears of a possible escalation in the war in the Middle East is driving sharp declines in stocks this morning. Surging energy prices has raised the expectations for interest rate hikes by the Federal Reserve. S&P futures are down 40 points, Dow futures falling 225. The ongoing turmoil sent stocks tumbling on Friday, with the Dow dropping 444 points. It was the fourth week in a row of losses. Meantime, Elon Musk says the semiconductor industry is moving too slow to keep up with the supply of chips he expects to need. Over the weekend, he announced a project to manufacture his own chips for robotics, artificial intelligence, and space data centers. The chip factory will be built in Texas and will be jointly run by Tesla and SpaceX. And Target is changing its dress code for store workers. It's part of an effort to rejuvenate growth. Sources tell us the company plans to require store workers to wear plain red shirts and blue jeans or khakis. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
Welcome back to Jupiter. Tom Ackerman with you. Looking forward to getting home today, seeing my family. The Laterman Law Firm is family to us, and my family has been working with the Laterman Law Firm for over 20 years now, and the reason's simple. The Laterman Law Firm doesn't just create documents and send us on our way. They help make sure that our estate plan works. Because let's be honest, life changes, family needs and circumstances change, and laws change. Most estate plans don't change over time as those needs, circumstances, and laws change. They're outdated. They sit in a drawer. People assume they're fine. At the Laterman Law Firm, it's not a one-time transaction. It is an ongoing process. So they build the plan to protect your family and your assets, and then for a fixed annual fee, they help keep it up to date as both your life and assets change. They're the Laterman Law Firm, and that's why we're clients. LatermanLaw.com, or give them a call at 314-514-9797. 9100. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
Spring cleaning is upon us, but there's one meaningful box that you don't throw away when cleaning out your closet. It's the box filled with your family's important videotapes, film reels, and photos. Hi, I'm Adam Baselogger.
And I'm Nick Mako. We started Legacy Box over a decade ago to help families organize and update their analog media to digital.
Legacy Box is simple and easy. It works and is safe. Over 1 million families have trusted Legacy Box.
And Legacy Box has been featured in Good Housekeeping, The Today Show, and Rachel Ray.
Legacy Box is like magic, converting your shoebox of memories to the cloud or thumb drive, ready to watch and share.
Declutter your closet by digitizing your media. Become more organized and accomplished, knowing your family's recorded past is safe forever. Take advantage of our spring cleaning sale going on now. It's the easiest task to check off your to-do list.
For a limited time, you can get started for just $9 a tape. Visit legacybox.com/radio to get our $9 sale. That's legacybox.com/radio to get our $9 offer. Legacybox.com/radio.
100 years. That's how long Overhead Door Company of St. Louis has been repairing and replacing garage doors. A century of trust in St. Louis. Always look for the iconic red ribbon of Overhead Door Company of St. Louis for same-day repair service and no extra charge for evening or Saturday service. Trust your friends at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Schedule online at overheaddoorstlouis.com. That's overheaddoorstlouis.com. Don't let tax refund worries hold you back. File now with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They'll find every credit and deduction to help you get every refund dollar you deserve or your money back. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
Rush Hour Sports, Matt Pauley, Kevin Wheeler with you here.
Bernie Miklasz joins Rush Hour Sports tonight at 5 on America's Sports Voice, KMOX.
It's now 6:40. Time to check the roads for you, and we've had that issue on eastbound 270. Let's get the latest on that and other things from Roger Brand. He's in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Megan, there's still no change with that situation on eastbound 270. This traffic reports service to the Sandberg Phoenix Law Firm. It's a fatal crash that happened about an hour ago. Eastbound 270 at Lilac. You have to get off the Lilac exit and then re-enter the highway. The jam goes back through Bell Fountain. It's not impacting westbound 270 drivers. You're fine going westbound. Northbound 270, you got some slow stuff north of 44 to Big Bend, Doherty Ferry, most of the way up to 64. Northbound 55, some slow traffic from right around the Union Road overpass now in pockets up to Holly Hills. On the Illinois side, we have another incident. We had one in the left pair of lanes earlier at the Poplar Street Bridge. This one looks like it's closer to Tudor. But again, the left lanes are impacted, and westbound 64 is a solid jam back through the 70 split at this time. Signal problems reported 94 and 70 at the intersection. They're on red flash. And seeing a backup on northbound Tesson Ferry from Butler Hill headed up to at least Schuessler. Next update at 6:50 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Sandberg Phoenix serves your business in litigation, intellectual property, and products liability. We're more than a law firm. We're committed to your success. Learn more at sandbergphoenix.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertising.
It is 6:41. Time for us to check in with our AccuWeather meteorologist, Joe Lundberg. And Joe, I've been describing our March weather as a roller coaster, and we were at the top of the hill yesterday, and then we plunged quickly to the bottom.
Yeah, we went from being in the middle of summer yesterday with temperatures in the upper 80s to near 90 degrees, and now all of a sudden we're starting out at 40, and we're only going to get to the low 50s today. Guess what? We've got 90 in the forecast again later this week, followed by another 50-degree day on Friday. To get there today will be chilly. We got some clouds now. They'll give way to sunshine, and then clouds will increase again this afternoon. Our high just 53. Mostly cloudy tonight, lows in the upper 30s. Clouds break for some sun tomorrow, the high 61. Much warmer Wednesday, partly sunny, the high 83, and then breezy and hot Thursday ahead of the next front. Mostly sunny, the high 92. Now watch out for strong to severe thunderstorms Thursday night with the next front, and it means business behind it. A couple of morning showers Friday, otherwise mostly cloudy and dramatically colder. Highs in the lower 50s. Right now it's 39 at St. Peter's and in Florissant. Cloudy, 41 downtown at the Arch. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
The news continues at 6:43.
We decided we're going to open one for the blind community where they have a say.
President of the Blind and Low Vision Community of Missouri, Jeff Creech, tells KMOX there was a need for his member nonprofit that was not being addressed by some other organizations.
Creech says there are no board of directors. The 104 members make the decisions. So Creech tells KMOX about some of the work the blind and low vision community of Missouri does.
We advocate very strongly for the blind community in Jeff City. We have a committee designated to that daily are making phone calls and sending emails trying to improve everything in the state to make it equal for us to live a independent life, just like sighted. For instance, credit card machines, why can't they all be the same, where we know where we have to insert the card? Every store is different. Those should all be the same, where you insert the card at the same location.
These are things that might seem minuscule to people with sight, but for people who cannot see, it is one more thing that requires them to lose their independence. Kiosk machines, for instance, Creech says, while they're great for the business, they do not work for blind people.
Gas stations have now gone to automated soda fountains. There's no way we can get our own soda. There's a lot of different things like that we advocate for, try to get bills sponsored to go through the legislation. The other thing that we do above the others is there's a lot of assistive technology out there today to help us, but it's no good if you don't know how to use it. We have a monthly training on a conference line to help people learn how to use their screen readers and iPhones and braille writers, etc., so that not only do they have the technology, they have the knowledge to be able to use it.
Creech says his organization has partnered with a few places to offer employment to the blind. They mainly work with the Lighthouse. Coming up in our next report, there is something pending in Jefferson City that has the blind community very concerned. Maria Aquina, KMOX News.
I'm Tom Ackerman in Jupiter, Florida with the Cardinals. They are still here, but they're leaving this morning for Springfield, Missouri. We'll have the game tonight as the Cardinals take on the AA Springfield Cardinals from Hammonds Field in Springfield, Missouri. The Cardinals yesterday wrapped up spring training here with a 3-2 win over the Houston Astros at West Palm Beach. And Jordan Walker finally made the connection.
3-2 pitch coming up to Jordan is hammered to deep left center field. That ball is way out of here. Up on the berm, a home run for Jordan Walker. That's his first of the spring.
It has been a well-documented struggle for Walker, who has worked on the cages, who has worked on his swing, his timing, his pitch recognition, and there it is, a home run as the Cardinals beat the Astros 3-2. Manager Ollie Marmol.
Yeah, his last couple games have looked better with just what he's trying to do, and then result or not, like just executing on that. Today was a very good day for him. So anytime you have a game like today, like my hope is that you can build off of it from a confidence standpoint. So he's starting to feel it a little bit. So that's a good thing.
Michael McGreevy with a tune-up for the regular season, went 5 innings, allowed just a run on 3 hits, walked no one, and struck out 5. He was 4-0 down here with an ERA of 2.45. George Soriano, a scoreless frame, finishes spring with an ERA of 0. He has made this bullpen. No position player announcements just yet. The Cardinals will have those conversations, and we should get more information today. College basketball at Enterprise Center. Purdue beat Miami 79-69 to advance to the Sweet 16, and Iowa State took care of Kentucky 82-63. St. John's knocks off Kansas 67-65 as Rick Pitino beats Bill Self. Tennessee with a win over Virginia 79-72. Iowa knocks off the number 1 seed Florida. Ben McCollum and the Hawkeyes are headed to the Sweet 16, 73-72 win for Iowa. Arizona beat Utah State 78-66. UConn, big second half to overwhelm UCLA, 73-57. Alabama hammers Texas Tech 90-65. Illinois will play Houston in Houston in the Sweet 16. That game time is out. It'll be Thursday night at 9:05 Central Time. From spring training here in Florida, Tom Ackerman on the home of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Inflation is squeezing budgets, and global events can shake markets overnight. If you're close to retirement, this is not the time for, gee, I hope this works out. That's why Steve All and the team at the All Financial Group are hosting an upcoming educational seminar called Retirement Simplified, April 7th at the All Financial Group offices. You'll learn how to deal with rising costs, taxes, crazy markets, and the fear of running out of money. The date again is April the 7th. It's complimentary, but you must reserve a seat. 636-230-8824 or at yourmoneymattersstl.com. Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, or registered investment advisor. Neither the firm nor its agents or representatives may give tax or legal advice. Individuals should consult with a qualified professional for guidance before making any purchasing decisions. The All Financial Group is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the U.S. government or any other government agency.
Back by popular demand, don't miss Blues Mystery Hat Giveaway Night. Join us April 7th as the Blues battle the Avalanche and take home an exclusive mystery hat to add to your collection. The first 10,000 fans will receive one of 3 hat styles, courtesy of Ticketmaster. The hats represent 3 eras of Blues hockey, and each features a stitched wordmark and logo from that era. Mystery hats are only available during this game, so get your tickets now at stlouisblues.com.
Join us for the Rally With Us MLB Opening Day events on March 25th, 9 to 1 p.m. at the Rally House Brentwood Point location. There'll be a live broadcast, giveaways, and the first 100 customers through the doors receive a Valley House Opening Day scratcher ticket. And don't forget to pick up your Opening Day gear while you stop in. Rally House is your home for outrageously authentic Cardinals gear, on-field hats, jerseys, and apparel straight from the source. For more info, KMOX.com/events.
Total Information AM. Debbie Monterrey, Megan Lynch, Tom Ackerman on 104.1 FM KMOX.
6:50. Let's see how things are moving on the roads. Roger Brand is in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, there's still no change, Megan, in North County with this fatal crash. Eastbound 270 at Lilac, still diverting traffic off at the exit. Eastbound 270 is jammed about midway between 367 and Bellefontaine. So the jam is growing very slowly since it is eastbound. Most folks coming westbound this time of day through there, and westbound is fine. There are no delays on your side of the highway. Northbound 270 a little slow at 44, then Big Bend most of the way up to 64 is pretty busy. Out west we still look okay. Southbound 61 onto eastbound 64 or 70, both hustling along. 94 at 70. Signals reportedly on red flash at that intersection in St. Charles City right now. Northbound 55 a little busy. Bayless, Weber up through Loughborough and Holly Hills. Westbound 64, that incident in the left lanes near Tudor has a jam back onto 5570 near Exchange now, so that's slowly getting worse as well. Next update at 6:58 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
This report is sponsored by McKelvey Homes.
McKelvey Homes is breaking ground on something new in O'Fallon, Strawberry Farms. When McKelvey builds something, they do it right. Visit McKelvey Homes to schedule a tour at Strawberry Farms in O'Fallon. Visit McKelveyHomes.com today and move up to McKelvey.
Checking that forecast for today, it is going to be colder today than it has been. We'll have some clouds. We're looking for a high of just 53 degrees, mostly cloudy and chilly tonight, an overnight low of 37. And then tomorrow, a mix of clouds and sunshine with a high of 61. Right now, we have partly cloudy skies, 39 degrees in Florissant, 37 in St. Peter's, 39 downtown at the Arch.
It is 6:52 and it is Monday, the 23rd of March. Thank you for joining us here this morning. Let's talk about stagflation, or maybe we shouldn't call it that. Jill Schlesinger is our CBS News business analyst. What are we talking about here?
Last week, the Federal Reserve Chair, Jerome Powell, was speaking after the Fed had decided not to do anything with interest rates. And someone asked him about, hey, are you worried about stagflation? And what is that? It just means a stagnating economy that would really slow down the growth of jobs alongside rising price increases and inflation rate taking off. Stagnating economy, inflation. And Powell's like, oh my God, don't say that. I mean, he didn't say it that way because he's a Fed official. So he's like, we don't use the word stagflation to describe the current situation. That is for what happened back in the 70s. Call it what you want. The labor market was slowing down and has been slowing down from the first half of last year. And we saw that inflation, while the rate of inflation has been coming down, it still remains well above what the Fed wants. And if you layer on top of this, the surge in energy prices, that, that's why the reporter said, well, what do you think? And I think what's really important is that, like, things change all the time, right? So in the last half an hour, we saw the announcement that maybe the U.S. and Iran are talking through back channels, and the price of oil went down by 10% in about a second. And futures prices turned around and started to rise. Doesn't mean this is all over. It's just saying that things move quickly. But it does not actually matter to the Fed. The Fed really wants to see what's happening next. And so I guess the question is, will the labor market pick up and will the inflation rate keep coming down? And we don't know the answer yet.
So when we look at a timeline for all this, Jill, as everybody's kind of watching what is happening, realistically, how many weeks or months down the road are we before we kind of know where we sit?
I think we need to get through the next round of data. So let me give you like three scenarios. The one scenario is that this does get settled this week, right? And so things settle down and you'll see the price of oil come down dramatically, but it'll stay higher than it was, say, 6 months ago, because everyone's going to be freaked and worried that something could go wrong, right? So we'll see higher energy prices, but we need to see the next couple of weeks, a couple of months rather, to see, does that flow through to the rest of the economy? I think, honestly, where are we? We're in March, right? So I think that by the time we get to June, you get a better sense of like what's actually happening in the economy writ large. And if this, if we have a peace deal, if peace holds, we should see a reversion to where we were before the war, which is, okay, we are looking at a moment where the economy is still going to grow. Maybe jobs aren't going to be robust, but it's going to be good enough, and that the inflation rate remains maybe higher than the Fed would like. So then in that case, maybe one more rate cut through the end of the year. We'll see.
CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger. You can always get more at JillOnMoney.com. Have a great week.
Take care.
I heard it's somebody's birthday.
Birthday excitement. It's your birthday.
The birthday shout out is sponsored for you by Renner Garage Door, RENNER, forward and back, family owned and top rated, RennerDoorSTL.com. Happy 74th birthday to Pat Mueller, or it could be Miller, of Lee May from the Survivors ladies. Eliza Jane Hartrick, Diane Wild, Marianne Steins, all celebrating. So is Betty Bone from your friends. And happy birthday wishes going out to Julius Anthony, Lynn Jackson, and Andy Karanzif. Head off to Crown Candy today and get yourself a BLT.
This is the best birthday ever.
Bernie Miklas here for Saliga Heating and Cooling. Our family's called the Saliga family for 18 years, and we are grateful for Saliga's honesty, knowledge, and professionalism. They're the best. For more info, visit SaligaHeatingandCooling.com.
Glover here for my friends at Cantor Injury Law. Cantor is local, and we're here doing the work every day. We're right here in St. Louis, and we're ready to fight for you. CantorInjuryLaw.com or call 314-628-9999.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be solely based on advertisements.
Hey, let's talk for just a moment about St. Louis Public Library. And I just want to say that for those of us who are, struggling a little with high prices, inflation, and all of that, and looking to save some money, St. Louis Public Library is actually a great benefit because you don't have to be buying books. You don't have to have an expensive subscription to get ebooks or audiobooks or to do genealogical research. All of these things add up, all these subscriptions. You can do all of that at St. Louis Public Library for free with your library card. If you are a St. Louis City resident, a St. Louis County resident, a St. Charles County resident, you can get your library card. They also have maker spaces, the creative experience. It is an amazing thing. You got to check that out as well. St. Louis Public Library is St. Louis's original search engine. Get all the information you need at slpl.org. And tomorrow, join us on Book Chat with Debbie Monterrey and St. Louis Public Library on Facebook when my author chat is Patty Pruitt.
Pizza's here. Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline Nasal Spray?
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
Let's see how things are moving on the roads with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, there's still no change, Megan, on eastbound 270. It's still shut down at Lilac. You have to divert off at the Lilac exit and then get back on the highway on the other side of it. Fatal crash is the reason why it's jammed on eastbound 270, approaching Bell Fountain at this time. If you're traveling on northbound 270, primarily Big Bend up through to 64 is pretty slow along the way there. Northbound 55, just a little busy right now. Bayless up to River to Pear, that doesn't look all that bad. Eastbound Highway 70, a little slow past Highway Z. And on the Illinois side, we still have this incident in the left pair of lanes, westbound 64 west of 3rd Street. It's jammed back through 70. Next update at 7:10 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
The trusted voice of St. Louis. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. President Trump has just done an about-face on a threat to obliterate Iranian power plants if the nation didn't reopen the Strait of Hormuz by tonight. Team coverage begins with correspondent Ed O'Keefe at the White House.
He said on Truth Social that based on the tenor and tone of these in-depth, detailed, and constructive conversations, which will continue throughout the week, I have instructed the Pentagon to postpone any and all military strikes against Iranian power plants and energy infrastructure for a 5-day period.
I'm Vicki Barker at the Foreign Desk in London, where oil prices plunged 14% within minutes of Trump's remarks, suggesting both sides might be moving to de-escalate the Iran conflict. Dow futures jumped as high as 1,200 points, and European stocks are rebounding after falling sharply at the open.
U.S. gasoline prices rose to a national average of $3.96 a gallon today. Both pilots of an Air Canada regional flight were killed when their plane hit a fire truck on a rainy runway at LaGuardia Airport overnight. Sound from the control tower on live ATC.
That wasn't good to watch.
Yeah, I know I was here. I tried to reach out to my stuff, and we were dealing with an emergency earlier, and I messed up.
No, man, you did the best you could.
The plane's nose sheared off. Former NTSB Chairman Robert Sumwalt.
This accident is going to boil down to a couple of things: coordination and communication. Was there adequate coordination within the air traffic control tower cab? And was there adequate communications between all parties involved?
ICE agents have begun arriving at U.S. airports to try to ease massive lines, creating hours-long delays. Correspondent Skylar Henry is at the airport in Atlanta.
We have already seen some of those ICE officers. As of now, they appear to be patrolling the lines outside of the checkpoints. The folks that we have spoken with say that they've been in line for hours already, and they still have a ways to go.
At the heart of the issue, TSA sick-outs triggered by the partial government shutdown, which is still at a political impasse. More than 400 TSA agents have quit their jobs. Historic flooding in Hawaii has left thousands of customers with no power. Congresswoman Jill Takuda.
The impact is significant. The challenges our families are facing right now, trying to clean up, absolutely been disastrous for our communities.
A meteor streaked across the sky over southeast Texas, and a piece of it landed smack dab in the middle of Sherry James' bedroom near Houston.
We heard a big boom, so I told my grandson to go see what it was.
He come back and said, you have a hole in the ceiling. And I'm like, what?
NASA says the fireball weighed about a ton before it broke apart above Bammel. This is CBS News.
Go to the ends of the earth, half a world away. Reach for the stars.
If I take time to think, they might go get Brad.
On CBS, Sunday morning.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and can't afford to pay, then you need to take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Helpline at 800-269-3454. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-269-3454 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-269-3454 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-269-3454.
At 7:04, we have cloudy skies, 39 degrees downtown at the Arch. Today is Monday, March 23rd. I'm Megan Lynch.
And I'm Debbie Monterrey. One person was killed, another injured in a crash this morning on 270. The Missouri Department of Transportation reports that crash happened about 5:40 this morning on eastbound 270 at Lilac. That crash involved a single vehicle that struck a median. The driver pronounced dead at the scene. A passenger taken to the hospital. The extent of the injuries hasn't been released. Our partners at Fox 2 report all lanes are shut down on eastbound 270 at Lilac as crews investigate and work to clear the scene. Traffic is currently being diverted west of Lilac Avenue.
A St. Charles County councilman has introduced a bill to create more collaboration between police and ICE. Will this turn St. Charles into Minneapolis?
County Councilman Mike Elam insists his bill will not, going as far as to say it does the opposite.
This builds trust where they don't feel like they need to come patrol in our community. So if you're someone who doesn't want ICE patrolling St. Charles County, this is the best way to keep them out of patrolling St. Charles County.
Elam says his bill would train St. Charles County officers on what to do when situations that would require ICE's involvement come up, but not have them act as ICE officers searching for immigrants to round up and deport them. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
President Trump sending in ICE agents to U.S. airports starting Monday. The border czar Tom Homan confirms to CNN he's working on a plan.
Working with the director of ICE and administrator at TSA, the acting administrator. So we'll put together a plan.
Missouri Congressman Wesley Bell posted on X that he's fighting back against ICE.
It's time to fight President Trump's dangerous policies. That's why I fought to defund ICE and impeach the Secretary of Homeland Security. St. Louis families should never live in fear.
It's not known if St. Louis Lambert International Airport is one of the airports ICE agents will be deploying to.
2 men were killed and 3 others injured Sunday afternoon in a shooting that happened in the 1400 block of North 13th by Cass outside of the smoke shop. 2 men killed and 3 others are in critical condition. St. Louis police say it was the result of a gunfight between several people, and a 26-year-old man has been taken into custody.
6 people shot at Illinois State University. Normal Police Department officers responded to multiple shots fired Sunday around 2:40 in the morning. 6 individuals were found outside the residence with gunshot wounds, 2 juvenile males, 2 adult males, and 2 adult females. All of the victims have non-life-threatening injuries. 2 have been identified as Illinois State University students. No arrests have been made at this time.
Did it seem really hot to you yesterday? Well, it was. It was actually a record breaker. The record was set more than 100 years ago. The National Weather Service says the city's high of 90 degrees broke the old record set in 1907 of 88 degrees. They report the new high is the second highest temperature ever recorded in March in St. Louis.
From the KMOX Business Desk, St. Louis City zoning code seeing the first significant update in 70 years. The city's Planning and Urban Design Agency and Building Division zoning section want feedback through a series of public workshops. The zoning upgrade project will give a presentation with small group discussions aimed at getting detailed feedback. The goal to update outdated regulations that may contribute to population loss and slowing down progress. This week, in-person workshops are Wednesday at Carpenter Library on South Grand, Thursday at the Del Mar Divine, and a virtual meeting on April 1st.
It is 7:08. We'll check traffic and weather next.
This is Congressman Bob Onder. Tax season is here, and Missouri families are already seeing the real impact of the Working Families Tax Cut Act. House Republicans are delivering real results for hardworking Missourians. According to the Council of Economic Advisors, the bill is projected to raise wages in Missouri by about $3,000 to $6,000 over the next 4 years. That's more money for groceries, gas, and greater security for your family's future. In Congress, I'm working to protect working families, strengthen our economy, and ensure you are keeping more of your hard-earned money.
Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
Okay, I have some really good news. While we do have the 0% a lot, we do have it on our regular products because you will be unbelievably shocked, especially if you call me and I'll give you the straight up scoop on how much money you can actually save by if you spent $20,000 versus $10,000 on a system. The difference could be as little as, I don't know, let's just say, not to exaggerate, 5 cents. So be careful out there, and always remember your energy savings is based on your house. It is not based on the equipment. So common sense advice and help and guidance. Again, call me, Bart Inman, one easy number, Missouri and Illinois. The easiest, 314-293-2600. Again, one easy number, Missouri and Illinois, 314-293-2600. Or on the internet, that is bartinman.com. That is Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
Siteman Cancer Center Spotlight. Dr. Jean Wang, a WashU Medicine gastroenterologist at Siteman Cancer Center.
Our young onset colorectal cancer center focuses on the problems that younger patients might have. And we pay attention to things like fertility, support with trying to manage childcare and caring for older parents during that time. It's a great resource for these younger patients.
Visit siteman.wustl.edu.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts.
Oh, we need to get you updated on the roads. Of course, we've had that terrible accident up on eastbound 270. Let's get the latest on that and other roads from Roger Brand and the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Yeah, there's still no change there, Megan. That's right, eastbound 270 at Lilac, where that fatal crash occurred earlier this morning. So they're diverting traffic off at the Lilac exit, and then you can get back on the highway there. The jam hasn't gotten any worse. Thankfully, it's just jammed approaching Bell Fountain. And again, westbound 270 drivers coming out of Madison County, not impacted by it at all. There are no delays westbound through there. They called out EMS for a crash. I can't see it. Maybe it's on the right shoulder because the right lane seems to be backing up. North 270 near 64. North 270 is just kind of slow from Doherty Ferry up to that point. Northbound 55, you have the heavier traffic from Bayless up to River to Pear. Southbound 55 passing Butler Hill looks a little busy. Still a jam on Tesson Ferry. It's north of Butler Hill, though, headed up through the Schuessler-Kennerly area. And they cleared that incident westbound 64 west of 3rd Street. Things for the time being have pretty well thinned out. 64 is just a little busy at the 70 split. It looks good through 159 so far. Eastbound 70 out west, the right lanes were just a little busy at Highway Z. So again, the rest of these highways aren't all that bad so far. Signal problems reported on 94 at 70. Next update is 720 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
KMOX AccuWeather, much colder today than recent days. Sun will give way to increasing high clouds. Our high 53. Mostly cloudy and chilly tonight, though 37. For tomorrow, clouds break for some sun, the high 61. Wednesday, partly sunny and much warmer, high 83. The record is 84, set in 1907. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It's officially mostly sunny, although we have some interesting clouds downtown that almost make it look like it might storm. But that's not in the forecast. It is 38 degrees.
7:12 now at Total Information AM. Protesters gathered to boycott Chris's Pancake House on Southwest yesterday. It was in opposition to the restaurant's owner, Chris Saraceno, who's also president of the St. Louis Police Board.
We need so many help right now, particularly Northside recovery, infrastructure, schools, social services, counseling, all these things. This is not the time. We need people to rise up and be aware that this is our money. And this is an unelected board who wants to take this.
Protesters against the police board's request for an additional $47 million in the budget. As KMOX has been reporting, the city proposed adding an additional $4 million. Mayor Kara Spencer says the board's request will bankrupt the city.
Residents will have their say on a proposed data center in Jefferson County. There's a public meeting at Festus High School tonight at 5.
This is Stuart McMillan. The city of Festus has already scheduled a follow-up meeting for March 30th to possibly make a final decision about the $6 billion data center proposed by CRG. Meetings have been packed recently with unhappy residents against the data center. That's why the bigger venue is needed. Mayor Sam Richards of Festus plans to support the project. The development near Highway 67 could generate $1.3 billion in tax revenue and community benefits over 25 years.
Bob Chapman, longtime leader of Clayton-based Barry Waymiller, has died at the age of 80. The company says the cause was leukemia.
Chapman spent more than 50 years at the manufacturing and services company, taking over as CEO in 1975, following the death of his father and building it from a $20 million operation into a global company with nearly 12,000 employees. Beyond the balance sheet, Chapman was known for a management approach that emphasized caring for workers as people, not just as employees, a philosophy embedded in company training programs and shared through a 2012 TED Talk that has been viewed more than 300,000 times. In a 2017 KMOX interview, he spoke about the personal motivation behind his family's major donation to Shaw Park in Clayton.
Our family was very privileged, again, stimulated by my mother's death this past year at age 96, to give something back to the community that I think has great values, and it's a great place to raise a family.
Chapman handed day-to-day leadership of Barry Waymiller to his son Kyle earlier this year, but remained chairman of the board at the time of his death. The company has about 500 employees in the St. Louis area. Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
The retiring head of St. Louis Public Library is proposing a fundraising campaign for an endowment for Central Library. Waller McGuire, who's been director and CEO of the library system since 2004, oversaw the $70 million renovation and restoration of Central Library downtown, which in 2012 received numerous architectural awards and international attention.
McGuire tells the Business Journal the building's scale and age make it particularly costly to operate, and the endowment could help share those costs. Last year, Central Library drew more than 250,000 visitors, making it one of the area's biggest attractions.
Now, a St. Louis Cardinals spring training report, sponsored by St. Louis Composting. Composting, growing gardens and making memories. And by Happy Roof, we always create happy endings on the voice of the Cardinals, KMOX.
The pitch, a strike called on the outside corner, 2 strikeouts in the inning. 4 in the game for McGreevy.
I'm Tom Ackerman. Michael McGreevy wrapped up spring training here with a 5-inning performance yesterday in West Palm Beach, Florida, beating the Astros by a final of 3-2. McGreevy's final numbers in spring training, 4-0 with a 2.45 ERA. He will be the Cardinals' number 2 starter to begin the season Saturday against the Rays. McGreevy allowed 1 run on 3 hits in his 5 innings. He walked no one and he struck out 5. Just the performance they have been looking for, and he has been consistently good all spring. The Cardinals also received a strong bullpen effort. Chris Roycroft did give up a run, but George Soriano, who also has made this bullpen, shut down the Astros in his inning and finishes with an ERA of 0. The Cardinals also received a home run from Jordan Walker, a long home run off into the distance in left center field, his first of the spring, and they beat the Astros 3-2. They finished the spring with a 5-game winning streak. Manager Ali Marmol on what he saw in camp from his club.
I feel good about the way we're going to compete every night. They've been clear on the style of play that we're looking to have this year, all year, and not giving in to anything. So I'm really confident in that.
They will be playing the Springfield Cardinals tonight. 6:05 start from Springfield, Missouri, here on KMOX. Dustin May is going to pitch in this game. The Cardinals haven't announced whether he's going to start for them or start against them for Double-A Springfield as he gets his work in. He's the number 3 starter. He'll start on Sunday against the Rays, Monday and Tuesday against the Mets. It's Kyle Leahy and Andre Palante. Opening day is this Thursday at Busch Stadium. Matthew Liberatore gets the start for St. Louis as they get the 2026 season underway. The Cardinals have their 13 pitchers. We've already gone through those, but the position players have not been secured yet. They have not announced the final roster. They really technically don't have to until Wednesday. College basketball, the Iowa Hawkeyes are in the Sweet 16. The 9 knocked off the 1. Iowa beat Florida 73-72 in Tampa. and advances to the Sweet 16. A shocking win there. Really no Cinderellas in this Sweet 16, but Iowa's win would be described as a shocker. Purdue beat Miami 79-69 at Enterprise Center. Iowa State overwhelmed Kentucky 82-63, even with an injury to one of their key players. St. John's over Kansas 67-65, and Tennessee moves into the Sweet 16 with a 79-72 win over Virginia. Arizona 78, Utah State 66. UConn beats UCLA 73-57, and Alabama also advances to the Sweet 16 with a resounding win over Texas Tech 90-65. Illinois' game time in the Sweet 16 is Thursday at 9:05 Central Time. That night, they will play Houston in Houston. A big challenge for Illinois as they have gotten through 2 victories and have moved on to the Sweet 16. In Jupiter, Florida with the Cardinals as they head out of here today. I'm Tom Ackerman on the home of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Create the ultimate raised bed garden with St. Louis Composting. Our premium compost and soil mixes are perfect for filling the raised beds you'll enjoy building, and even better for growing fresh, homegrown veggies. Imagine harvesting your own tomatoes, peppers, and cilantro for fresh salsa the whole family can enjoy. And with delivery right to your door, getting started has never been easier. Visit stlcompost.com to order a convenient delivery from your phone in seconds, or stop by one of our 9 locations in the St. Louis area. St. Louis Composting, growing gardens and making memories.
Did you see the forecast? Another huge storm is tracking right for us.
I saw. Honestly, I'm not worried.
Not worried. Your roof is older than mine.
I called Happy Roof. They did a pre-storm inspection, caught a loose flashing that would have caused a major leak.
Wow, I really need that peace of mind.
Protect your happy place before the rain starts.
Booking my free inspection at thehappyroof.com or call 314-897-2310. It's all about the happy ending.
You can feel the Clydesdales circling the field. Hear the stands come alive. Smell the hot dogs, the popcorn, and cold beer in the air. See the crowd rise as the first pitch hits the glove. And just like that, a new season begins. The countdown is on until opening day, and tickets start at just $49. Don't miss St. Louis's favorite holiday. Get your tickets at cardinals.com/opening day.
Swings, and it's a high fly ball. That's hit deep. It's a gunner! It's a gunner! And a game winner!
Start the season in style. On Saturday, March 28th, the Cardinals welcome the Tampa Bay Rays for a spring showdown downtown. That day, you can score a lightweight Cardinals pullover, a navy blue look built for early season nights, and easy everyday wear. Comfortable, classic, and ready for cool evenings at the ballpark. It's a layer you'll reach for all season long. Get tickets and details at cardinals.com/promotions.
Total Information AM on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
It is 7:20, and it's time for us to get you traffic and weather. We start with Roger Brand, who's in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
No, there's still no change in North County, Debbie. Eastbound 270 traffic still being diverted off at Lilac as they continue that fatal crash investigation, the jam approaching Bell Fountain Road. Northbound 270 is still bogged down. I'll call it Big Bend all the way up to 64. It's pretty busy along that run. If you're on eastbound 70, a little slow. The right lane's coming through Z to 64. Eastbound 64 is a little busy coming through Ballast towards Spady and briefly at the Interbelt. Westbound 64 Hampton through Clayton Skinker looks a little heavier. Minor incident reported 44. Looks like it's maybe just east of the Bulls overpass. The overpass is blocking my view, but it is backed up about midway back to 141 on eastbound 44. Still a little bit of a backup on Tesson Ferry north of Butler Hill, headed up toward Kennerly. Northbound 55, Union Road overpass up to River to Pears on the break. 64 westbound, just a little slow past 159, but finally things back on track through the 70 split to the Poplar. Next update at 7:30 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Hey guys, Glover here for my friends at Zero Res. You know they do such a great job. Beat the spring cleaning rush and call our cleaning heroes now. This month, buy one, get one room of carpet clean for free. Unlimited rooms of carpet. Visit ZeroResSTL.com and let them know that Dave sent you.
Colder today, some clouds, a high of 53 degrees. Cloudy and chilly tonight with an overnight low of 37. And a mix of clouds and sunshine tomorrow with a high of 61. We have partly cloudy skies, 39 degrees in downtown St. Louis.
The news continues at 7:22.
Tariffs have raised the price of groceries and cars, and Illinoisans have been sent abroad to fight another Middle East war.
Illinois Governor Pritzker not holding back on why he thinks the Illinois Republican Party isn't doing anything for Illinois working families.
When Trump took child care and education funding away from working families, Illinois Republicans cheered him on. While Illinois Democrats passed a child tax credit and cut taxes on working families, Republicans voted against it. When Democrats raised the minimum wage to $15 an hour, not a single Republican voted for it.
Pritzker, talking before a group of supporters, also said oil prices are up, measles are back, and farms are folding.
Missouri's junior Senator Eric Schmidt says Democrats aren't debating the Save America Act legislation
because they cannot defend what this bill exposes: open borders, an open season on America's daughters and children.
The Republican says Democrats prefer managed decline as long as they're in power, but adds the Senate was not sent to D.C. to manage decline.
Enough with the slow motion suicide of this republic.
And Schmidt says, quote, the American people did not send them to preside over the death of a country, close quote.
A Missouri bill targeting repeat juvenile offenders is currently awaiting the Missouri governor's signature.
It tackles the plague of catch and release in our juvenile justice system.
St. Charles County Republican Senator Nick Schroer says the current sealed records prevent police from seeing a teen's true criminal history.
And what we've seen as a result is kind of an implementation, a catch and release of a lot of these kids who should be detained, who should be given services. And essentially what's happened as a result is a lot of these kids are emboldened to be harder criminals.
To fix this, his bill would create a combined criminal database for police and prosecutors, allowing juvenile offenders to consider every charge submitted by cops before releasing a teen back on the streets. It would also allow judges to transfer habitual offenders to adult court for multiple unrelated felonies.
Safe Place is an organization that helps any youth having a crisis by giving them access to immediate help and a no-pressure environment.
Cecil Cornish is the Safe Place coordinator at Youth in Need. Safe Place can be libraries, QTs, grocery stores, even the St. Louis Science Center. There are signs outside of the facilities alerting young people that if you go inside that location, you can get help.
We are actually the largest Safe Place hub, is what they call them, in the nation, with over 900 locations. And in that 900 locations, it includes hundreds of sites in the city, St. Louis County, and also in St. Charles County. Each location has at least 200 sites, and they are comprised of firehouses. They could be a resource center.
Cornish says if you think of a place that is friendly and kids already know that there will be an adult there to help them, how it works, when the youngster goes into the place, they can say, I need help. And the people working at that site have been trained to respond.
It's never the responsibilities of the cashier at Quick Trip or the fireman at a firehouse to go into detail with the youth, because some of the things that our youth in this area are facing are very, very intense or stressful situations, and they may not want to immediately share it.
The adult usually calls behavioral response in the city or county, or in St. Charles, they call Compass Health System.
Sometimes whenever youth come into a safe place, it may be from bullying or it may be from just mental health concerns. And at that point, BHR and Compass can actually make a mental health referral over the phone. And of course, if they're under 18 with the permission of the parents and everything. And if the youth is in danger, like physical danger to themselves, or if somebody is coming to potentially harm them, or they're in a stalking situation, or they could just be an unaccompanied minor with no shelter to go that evening, a youth can get help from my street outreach team within 30 minutes.
Maria Akina, KMOX News.
The former superintendent of St. Louis Public Schools is suing for wrongful termination. Millicent Boris-Shade says she was fired for retaliation after uncovering and reporting widespread misconduct and legal violations like misuse of public funds, payroll, and immigration compliance violations. She names the school district, the teachers union, and district officials.
She was fired just 8 months into the job. Before that, she was the interim superintendent taking over for Dr. Keisha Scarlett. Borshady's lawsuit says damages in excess of $25,000 for reputational harm, emotional distress, and lost wages. A suit filed in St. Louis Circuit Court Friday.
It is now 7:27, and that time check is sponsored for you by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
JerryKelly.com.
Pizza's here.
Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
During Lowe's Pro Savings Days, save more on what goes into the job. Add power to your lineup with a free DeWalt 20-volt max 5 amp hour battery when you buy a select DeWalt 20-volt max tool. Plus, get up to 35% off select major appliances from Whirlpool, Maytag, and more. Get the job done right. Keep more in your pocket. That's Pro Savings Days. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 3/27. Selection varies by location. While supplies last.
Tom Ackerman down here in Jupiter, heading home. Can't wait to see all the trees and how things have changed in St. Louis. I've only been gone for a couple of weeks, but I know there are changes, and I know that I need to call Tim Gamma to get his crew over to take a look at everything, see what's going to be a problem this summer, make sure I have our ash trees treated. The emerald ash borer can be a real problem in the spring and summer is when you need to get that treated early so that they aren't any issues. Ash trees in St. Louis are in some trouble with the emerald ash borer, an invasive beetle that has been a problem for a while. And they can treat that for you at Gamma Tree Experts. They make it very easy. Just go to gammatree.com. They have been in business since 1954. They are the experts. That's why they call them Gamma Tree Experts when it comes to your trees and shrubs, your living assets here in the St. Louis area. Gamma Tree Experts. Your trees deserve the best care. gammatree.com.
Hey guys, Glover here for my friends at Universal Windows Direct. March is that time of year when a lot of us start thinking about fresh starts, spring cleaning, that kind of stuff. If you are in the market for replacement windows, here's the deal from Universal. When you buy 2 windows, you get 2 for free with no limit, 24 months with no payments and no interest, giving you 2 full years to enjoy the comfort before paying a dime. $500 bonus off your home improvement project, 314-334-2522 or universalwindowsdirect.com.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
It is now 7:30, and this is Total Information AM. I'm Debbie Monterrey.
And I'm Megan Lynch. Let's get the latest on the roads. Of course, we've had that fatality this morning. Roger Brand has more from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Yeah, if you're traveling through North County, of course, that's where the trouble spot is, Megan, as you said, and we've been talking about it for a while this morning. The fatal crash eastbound 270 at Lilac. They're still diverting the traffic off at the Lilac exit, eastbound 270, backed up through Bell Fountain Road if you're headed that way. But again, like I've been saying, the westbound side of 270 is still light and on the go, so thankfully it's not impacting the main rush hour direction of travel through there. Northbound 270, that's slow from just about Tesson Ferry now up to 44, and then just north of 44 all the way up to Ladue, so it's busy the whole way through. Had a stall or a minor incident eastbound 44 just east of Bowles. It's backed up at 141 now. Again, it's sort of hidden by the overpass. I can't see what they're doing with it right now. Northbound 55, a backup from the Union Road overpass up to River to Pear. If you're coming in on 64, there's heavier traffic now east of Lindbergh through the Interbelt, westbound 64 Hampton to Big Bend slow, south 170 bogs down to Ladue, eastbound 70, a little busy coming through the S Bend east of Wentzville Parkway. It's kind of slow at Lake St. Louis Boulevard through T.R. Hughes. And then again, briefly east of Mid Rivers. Illinois drivers just a little slow. Westbound 64 right now passing 159. And also westbound 270, we had a minor incident west of 157. A little bit of a delay there. Next update at 7:40 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
All right, thanks, Roger. It's going to be a chilly day today, especially compared to the peak temperature yesterday. High today of just 53 degrees with sun fading behind increasing cloudiness. Clouds and sun tomorrow, 61, then 83 Wednesday, 92 Thursday. Then storms move through and we're back into the 50s for Friday. 38 degrees out there right now.
It's 7:32. A new bill introduced in St. Charles County would create greater collaboration between immigration and customs enforcement and local law enforcement.
They think it's going to be what you saw in Minneapolis. And this is the complete opposite of that.
The bill sponsor, Councilman Mike Elam, he tells KMOX this bill is the best way to keep ICE agents out of St. Charles County.
We will have a couple of officers who will go through advanced training from ICE to learn process and procedure and what that looks like. We are not, to be clear, going to be working as ICE in St. Charles County.
Elam says their training will help teach the officers what to do when a situation arises that may require ICE, such as an arrest with ties to human trafficking. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
ICE agents will be deployed in U.S. airports starting today. Border Czar Tom Homan was asked on CNN if ICE agents are trained to handle security at airports.
The ICE agents are assigned at many airports across the country already. They do a lot of criminal investigation on smuggling at airports.
Missouri Congressman Wesley Bell, in a social media post, says he supports defunding ICE.
St. Louis families should never live in fear.
It's not known if ICE agents will be deploying to Lambert. KMOX is awaiting word from airport authorities.
Sunday's high winds being blamed for hundreds of homes losing power in the Metro East yesterday. At least 400 customers in Bethalto lost power around 5:30 yesterday afternoon because of downed power lines. The downed lines also sparked a fire that damaged 2 homes.
Those temperatures yesterday broke the daily record set more than 100 years ago. The National Weather Service says St. Louis's high of 90 degrees yesterday broke the old record of 88 degrees set back in 1907. They report the new high is the second highest ever recorded temperature in March in St. Louis.
The news sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. It's now 7:34.
Hear me out on this. Let's say, for the sake of argument, you do have a wife or a significant other.
Yeah.
They're just a huge problem in your life. And then you win a giant jackpot. Mm-hmm. Don't you feel like this is your opportunity to just leave town?
You're not going to file papers because now you're going to be legally bound to this lady.
That's what you get the lawyer for.
You're not even married and you're fantasizing about leaving your wife.
The Chris and Amy Show, weekdays starting at 9 on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
At Uline, they know going the extra mile takes hard work. For companies pushing to go further, Uline will go the distance with you. 24/7, they answer the phone to get you the shipping and industrial supplies you need. Business can move fast. Unexpected large orders, adverse weather, new safety guidelines, and changing economic trends. Uline works hard keeping 41,000 items ready to ship, minimizing detours on your way to the extra mile. Visit uline.com.
Another app for inventory, one for CRM. Oh, don't forget accounting. Wait, which login was that?
Or you could use Odoo, one fully integrated system that does it all without the hassle. Ditch the app overload. Get everything your business needs on one platform. Try Odoo free today at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
Now 7:36 and time for your Money Minute from Bloomberg, sponsored by Busey Bank.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Israel and Iran are trading fresh threats and attacks, and that's sending stocks lower to kick off the week. The price of oil in the U.S. is close to $100 a barrel, while S&P futures are in the red. Over the weekend, President Trump gave Iran a 2-day deadline to reopen the Strait of Hormuz or face strikes on its power plants. That expires later this evening Eastern Time. Meantime, Bitcoin has dropped below $69,000. Bitcoin has sold off since the start of the war, losing roughly 20% since the end of February. Keep in mind that the cryptocurrency was trading above $120,000 back in October. And the NBA is said to have begun preliminary talks with investment banks about the league adding 2 new teams. These firms would run the sale process that would likely fetch billions of dollars. The league is focusing on Seattle and Las Vegas as expansion cities. The NBA Board of Governors is set to vote this week to decide whether to move ahead with the plan. Courtney Dunho, Bloomberg Radio.
This is the Let's Revitalize Our Neighborhoods commitment. This is the Roll Up Our Sleeves and Pitch In commitment. This is Busey, where our commitment to strengthen our communities is a top priority. Through energetic, engaged volunteers, through monetary support, community leadership, and advocacy. Because Busey is more than a bank that does well, we're a bank that does good. Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth, since 1868. Member FDIC.
Midwest winters take a real toll on your garage door. Let my friends at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis come out and perform their 26-point tune-up on your garage door and opener. The work is guaranteed, and it's just one price for up to 3 garage doors and openers. No extra charge for evening or Saturday service. Overhead Door Company of St. Louis, since 1926, 100 years. Schedule online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com. That's overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
Hey guys, Kevin Wheeler here for FanDuel Sportsbook, the official sportsbook of KMOX. Mine, of course, as well. And we're into baseball season. Thank God we've been counting down to this for months. And this baseball season, FanDuel is letting you choose your own reward for opening week. So these are betting customizations that transform how you experience the game. So you make your choice, and the reward will be ready to use on your next MLB bet. I guess you could say FanDuel is the home of home runs this year. And look, we've all been looking forward to baseball season. I know we've been talking it down here on KMOX for months and months and months. It's finally time, and we get to play with FanDuel, which I find to be more fun than playing in football season, just so you know. So if you're ready to play your game, head to FanDuel.com/Missouri to choose your reward for MLB's opening week. FanDuel is an official partner of Major League Baseball. And, of course, remember, you have to be 21 or older and present in Missouri. Opt-in is required. Rewards are non-withdrawable. Restrictions apply, including bonus and token expiration, leg requirements, and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. And if you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Turn your tax refund into a new roof with Menards. Make this the year you check that project off the list. Atlas Roofing provides the best value in architectural shingles. Atlas shingles feature a limited lifetime warranty and wind resistance up to 130 miles per hour. Plus, their super wide design saves on installation time. Visit us in store or on Menards.com and get a free estimate fast on your shingle project with our easy-to-use design program.
Save big money at Menards.
Baseball is all about stepping up to the plate when it matters most. And when you've been injured, you need a heavy hitter in your corner. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm, proud sponsor of the St. Louis Cardinals.
Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Renewal by Andersen is the #1 window and door brand for customer service. Schedule your free inspection today. Call 877-WINDOWS. That's 877-WINDOWS. Or head to rbastl.com.
Rush Hour Sports, Matt Pauley, Kevin Wheeler with you here.
Bernie Miklasz joins Rush Hour Sports tonight at 5 on America's Sports Voice, KMOX.
7:40. Let's check your Monday morning commute with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, there's still no change on eastbound 270, Megan. This traffic reports a service of Artistic Decks. It is still shut down at Lilac. You have to exit and then re-enter the highway there because of an earlier fatal crash. It's jammed back through Bellefontaine Road. If you're traveling on eastbound Highway 70, you've got some slow traffic, and through about Bryan Road, and then again from Mid-Rivers up the hill to 370. After that, you're okay. Eastbound 64 backs up Lindbergh into Big Bend. Westbound 64 Hampton to Big Bend, slow. South 170 starts to slow at Delmar, jams from the Parkway to 64. North 270 approaching Tesson Ferry through Gravois, and then Big Bend all the way up to 64 is busy. Eastbound 44 backs up approaching 141 up through Bowles. We had an incident blocking there. Northbound 55 south of Rivas, almost Green Park up to River to Pear is pretty heavy. And on the Illinois side, a little slow. Westbound 64 at 159 and then approaching the Poplar. Next update is 7:50 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Ready to hit a home run with your backyard? Call Artistic Decks. We're celebrating 25 years of A-plus service with massive rollback pricing. Get a professional custom-built deck for less. Hit it out of the park with Artistic Decks. Call 314-280-0821 today.
It is 7:41 and time for us to check in with our AccuWeather meteorologist, Joe Lundberg. It is a cool morning out there and some weird cloud cover, Joe, that looks like it might rain or something.
It does, but I think that these clouds are going to disperse fairly quickly, and we'll have a fair amount of sunshine here through much of the morning hours before some high clouds streak in from the west this afternoon. Temperatures, though, only going to get back to 53. That's it. Chilly night ahead, lows of 37. It'll cloud up, maybe even be a sprinkle in spots. Tomorrow, the clouds break for some sunshine. A better day, the high 61. Much warmer Wednesday, partly sunny skies. Here comes the heat again, the high 83. In fact, I say heat. I'm serious about that. Thursday is going to be sunny and brutally hot for this time of the year. The high 92. That would wipe out the record of 87 from 1991. Then a front comes a-calling Thursday night, and with it, some pretty nasty thunderstorms are possible. I mean, severe weather is definitely on the table. Behind that front, a couple of morning showers Friday, but dramatically colder with lots of clouds and a high in the low to mid-50s. Down to 38 at St. Peter's, 37 in Florissant, cloudy, and 40 downtown at the Arch. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It's now 7:43. More news. Drivers not the only ones looking to cut spending in the wake of rising gas prices. CBS's Jesse Mitchell says one airline is also tweaking its flight schedule.
United Airlines is cutting some flights temporarily due to rising jet fuel costs, warning prices could reach as high as $175 a barrel. In a memo, the company says it plans to reduce less popular flights during off-peak times, such as red-eyes and Tuesday, Wednesday, and Saturday flying. United service to Tel Aviv and Dubai is suspended due to the war. The carrier says it plans to restore its full schedule in the fall.
President Trump backing off his threat to strike Iranian power plants at the Strait of Hormuz isn't reopened today. The president said he's decided to hold off based on, quote, very good and productive conversations, unquote, to resolve the impasse. He previously gave Iran 48 hours to comply. We get more from CBS's Ed O'Keefe.
The president calling off these strikes, he just, as we came on the air, he said on Truth Social that based on the tenor and tone of these in-depth, detailed, and constructive conversations, which will continue throughout the week, I have instructed the Pentagon to postpone any and all military strikes against Iranian power plants and energy infrastructure for a 5-day period.
About 20% of the world's oil passes through the Strait of Hormuz.
A new likeness of Christopher Columbus is raising eyebrows in the nation's capital.
President Trump has installed a 13-foot, 1-ton statue of the explorer on White House grounds outside the Eisenhower Executive Office building. It's made from pieces of a monument President Reagan unveiled in Baltimore in 1984, before it was destroyed by protesters 6 years ago. They claimed Columbus was responsible for the genocide and exploitation of Native Americans. They dumped the statue into Baltimore Harbor. Italian-American businessmen and politicians dredged up marble bits and pieces and had it rebuilt. Last year, President Trump signed a proclamation hailing Columbus a hero. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
And President Trump also declared Columbus Day, we're back, we love the Italians.
A Grammy winner is speaking out after a family accused the singer's security team of mistreating a child.
I did not ask the security guard to go up and talk to this mother and child. They did not come up to me.
Chapel Roan posted to Instagram after a woman named Catherine Harding claimed the 11-year-old daughter she shares with soccer star Jorginho Frello was verbally berated by Roan's security at a hotel in Brazil.
No one came up to me. No one bothered me. Like, I was just sitting at breakfast.
Harding says she gave her daughter tickets to the Grammy winner's show at Lollapalooza, Brazil for her birthday. They canceled that plan. The mayor of Rio says Roan is permanently banned from the festival. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
That would be Missouri's own Chapel Roan they're talking about in that story. It is 7:46.
I'm Tom Ackerman in Jupiter, Florida. The Cardinals leave here this morning and head to Springfield, Missouri. They will take on the Springfield Cardinals, their AA affiliate, on KMOX tonight. 6:05 start from Hammons Field. Dustin May will start the game. Whether he starts for the Cardinals or the Springfield Cardinals remains to be seen. But at any rate, May, the number 3 starter in the Cardinals rotation, will get his final tune-up. Yesterday, that assignment went to Michael McGreevy, and he flourished. He is 4-0 with a 2.45 ERA as we close the Grapefruit League. 5 innings pitched yesterday, allowed 1 run on 3 hits. No walks, 5 strikeouts as the Cardinals beat the Astros 3-2. And Jordan Walker hit a home run in the game, a long home run to left center field, his first of the spring. Walker is only 23 years old. McGreevy is 25 to that point, and the Cardinals have been very adamant about this. They have players who they can grow with, and manager Ali Marmol says,
I think that's why there's a lot of enthusiasm, because they know that they're going to be together for a while, and this is the group that they need to learn how to win with. Mm-hmm. So a lot of questions early in camp were around leadership, as far as like who's that leader, and I don't think you have to have a guy. I think each person stepping into that next phase of leadership for them is important, but that room has done a nice job of speaking into that and then talking through how they're going to hold each other accountable to the style of play. So that's the one thing I can guarantee is there'll be a style of play that I think is exciting to watch.
After today's game, the Cardinals will head home to St. Louis, and they will take on the Rays Thursday at Busch Stadium on opening day. No position player announcements just yet. The Cardinals could do that as early as today. They need to have conversations with everybody and discuss what the 13 position players are going to look like. We already know the 13 pitchers, 5 starters, and 8 members of the bullpen, 6 right-handed relievers and 2 lefties. College basketball yesterday at Enterprise Center. Purdue beat Miami 79-69 to advance to the Sweet 16, and Iowa State did the same, blasting Kentucky 82-63. St. John's knocks off Kansas in a matchup of Rick Pitino and Bill Self, 67-65 for St. John's on a buzzer beater. Tennessee beat Virginia 79-72. How about Iowa? They beat the number 1 seed Florida, a 9-1 in Tampa, mind you. 73-72. That's the first trip to the Sweet 16 for the Hawkeyes since 1999. Arizona beat Utah State 78-66. UConn also advances, knocking off UCLA 73-57, and Alabama blew out Texas Tech 90-65. We have game time for Illinois. They'll play Houston in Houston on Thursday night at 9:05 Central Time for their Sweet 16 matchup. In Jupiter, Florida with the Cardinals, I'm Tom Ackerman on the home of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
The legendary Fast Eddie of Fast Eddie's Bon Air and Cardinals Hall of Famer, Jason Isringhausen.
Hey, it's that time of year again, man. It's starting to warm up. And you know the sun's getting a little brighter. I can hear the crack of the bat.
Yeah, the true pros are doing just a little bit of stretching here and there, getting rid of those winter kinks, getting ready for those days that really count, Eddie. I'm talking about the ones you'll always remember at Fast Eddie's Bon Air.
Boy, now that you got that right. It is all they can do to get ready for the lineup of the delicious eats, man. It's a half-pound Fat Eddie burger. Man, it's a hot chick on a stick, that big Elwood on a stick, and you know the succulent peel and eat shrimp are sitting over there on deck.
You do know I have to stretch out a little bit before I start hitting that dance floor, listening to that live music 7 days a week on that huge outdoor patio.
Well, it's like any other training, man. You got to warm up to get that party face on. It's really difficult out there to have that much fun on that warm, toasty patio. You know, like Mr. Shannon always said, if you're 21 and in the mood, it's Fast Eddie's Bon Air.
Unlock a brighter outdoor space in 2026 with Chesterfield Valley Nursery. Let us be your trusted partner for all your landscaping, lawn, and gardening needs, empowering you to create a haven that brings joy and serenity to your life. From landscape design to property maintenance to our garden center, we're here for you. Houseplants, tree shrubs, organic soil mixes, gardening and plant classes, and more. Chesterfield Valley Nursery's Garden Center has what you need no matter what the season. Visit us weekdays from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Saturday hours start in March. Follow us on Facebook or Instagram for all class and sale updates.
St. Louis's unofficial holiday is almost here. It's Cardinals opening day, Thursday, March 26th. And KMOX's Cakes and Eggs, presented by Budweiser, is back. This year with a new twist. You don't need a ticket to enjoy KMOX's live broadcast at Cardinals Nation inside Ballpark Village, featuring Cardinals alumni, front office personnel, special guests, and so much more. First come, first serve. Doors open at 9 a.m. Celebrate opening day with Dirt Cheap, Budweiser, and Rally House. More info at KMOX.com/events.
Debbie Monterrey, Megan Lynch, Tom Ackerman. Total Information AM on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
It is now 7:51. Here's Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, still no change, Debbie, on eastbound 270. It's still shut down at Lilac. You have to use the exit and on-ramps there. It's jammed east of 367 on eastbound 270 right now. Northbound 270, north of 55 through Gravois, and then north of Big Bend all the way up to Ladue is pretty busy. Eastbound 44 is still working this. I guess it's a crash. It's blocking the right lane, the exit just past Bowles. And it's backed up, not quite midway back to Antire, but it's getting pretty close on eastbound 44. Pretty heavy jam there. Northbound 55, Bayless up to River to Pear. You're backed up. Eastbound 64 still has heavy traffic. Let's just call it east of Ballas through Big Bend. South 170 is approaching Delmar to 64. Westbound 64, Hampton to Hanley's busy. And westbound 64 on the Illinois side, slow at 159. And then just west of 3rd Street, heavy to the Poplar. Next update at 7:58 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
We're going to have some clouds today, and we'll be colder, a high just 53 degrees, cloudy and chilly tonight, an overnight low of 37, and then a mix of clouds and sun tomorrow with a high of 61. Partly cloudy now, 39 in downtown St. Louis.
The news continues at 7:52. There is a relatively new nonprofit organization called the Blind and Low Vision Community of Missouri, statewide group of 104 members.
Jeff Creech is president of the Blind and Low Vision Community of Missouri, who recently lost his sight.
So as a member, people get more benefits than general public. This is our second year. My better half and I founded this organization November of 24.
What was the need that you saw that was missing?
There are other blind organizations in the state, and we've looked at what we considered their, I hate to say faults, but we'll kind of go with that. And we decided we're going to open one for the blind community where they have a say. It's not a board of directors telling them what to do.
The Blind and Low Vision Community of Missouri is 100% member ran. Every month, Creech says the members vote on what will go on. Coming up later this morning on Total Information AM, we look at concerns the blind community have that are frequently not addressed. Maria Aquina, KMOX News.
We've told you Six Flags St. Louis is trading corporate hands in a $331 million deal. The Eureka theme park, along with 6 other properties across North America, now owned by EPR Properties. But what does a real estate investment trust want with a collection of regional roller coasters the parent company was eager to dump? Former Bush Entertainment Corporation executive Scott Swenson says you have to look at the upside for the buyers.
I'm just going to use the phrase, one man's trash is another man's treasure.
Yep.
So underperforming parks for Six Flags may be the highest performing parks for EPR.
EPR bringing in a veteran management team called Enchanted Parks to run the on-the-ground operations. For now, the turnstiles will keep spinning as usual with all Six Flags season passes honored through 2026.
Nationwide, the housing market is slowing down, with January seeing some of the biggest drop-offs in new home sales in years. Is the St. Louis market seeing that slowdown? Sam Hall, president of the St. Louis Realtors, says that's not the case locally, with most homes selling within 30 days at or near asking price. However, the reason why might not be a positive.
All of the submarkets of the St. Louis greater metropolitan region, including like the bi-state, St. Charles County, we still have an undersupply of housing inventory.
Recent census data backs that up, with St. Louis falling to 58th in the nation in new home permitting after sitting in the top 50 year after year.
Average gas prices in the St. Louis region continuing to rise. Gas Buddy reports prices in the region rose 25 cents a gallon in the last week, averaging $3.78 a gallon today. That average is $1 higher than it was a month ago, a cent higher than the current national average gas price. Head of petroleum analysis at Gas Buddy, Patrick DeHaan, says it appears increasingly likely that the national average will reach $4 soon.
Also in the news, automotive recalls. They've spiked in the last year.
We're seeing a lot of stuff for engines and transmissions, or even worse yet, fire risk.
KMOX auto expert Greg Damon says if you get a notice to stop driving your car, listen.
Steering can come out of control, airbags, as I said, fires. Some of the Toyota Priuses, the doors may not open properly.
Damon says more recalls may be a result of manufacturers using different materials to improve gas mileage and the rush to get new models on the market. You can hear more on this subject this morning at 8:24.
We'll check traffic in just 2 minutes here on Total Information AM.
I'm Andrew Stoles, and this is KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
If you need some work in your outdoor space, maybe you have to replace that deck that's finally falling apart, or maybe you've just been dreaming of having the most incredible outdoor space for entertaining and relaxing and barbecuing. Call Chesterfield Fence and Deck. From the smallest project to the most complex, they can handle it. They've been doing that for 58 years. A locally owned, family-run company with an incredible reputation and A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, who they stand behind everything they do. So some folks will give you a rock bottom price. They pull some people off a parking lot to slap a fence together, and by the next year, it's already falling apart. That's never going to happen with Chesterfield Fence and Deck, because they only use their own installation teams with years of experience and the highest quality products that they stand behind. If you mention me, Debbie Monterrey, they'll offer you 48 months interest-free financing. You can stop by Chesterfield Fence and Deck in the Chesterfield Valley. They've got a great showroom that you can browse through, or they'll come to you. It's Chesterfield Fence and Deck, the sign you have the very best, chesterfieldfence.com.
I was ordering food for the office from the same few places for too long.
For workplaces suffering with office food fatigue, every day's a struggle.
Before starting Easy Cater, I assumed having no good vegan options for Carl in finance was normal.
Easy Cater is designed to treat OFF with a huge variety of favorite restaurants, plus tools to help you meet dietary needs and stay on budget. Used daily, one platform lets you save time and shine. Ask your app store about Easy Cater or start an order at easycater.com.
One of life's greatest mysteries has finally been solved.
Who let the dogs out? Spruce.
It's spruce, the weed and grass killer that's safe for use around people, pets, and bees when used as directed. Spray the leaves for visible results in just 1 hour and dead weeds in just 1 day. You spray, they play. Spruce, pet friendly, weed deadly. Find wherever weed killers are sold.
Hi, this is Charlie Brennan. I see clearly now thanks to the doctors, Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, and Andy Royer. You can too. YourIDoc.com.
Working hard but still falling behind? Learn how real estate investing can help you build income and move forward with purpose. Text radio to 88007. That's RADIO to 88007. Presented by Lifestyles Unlimited.
Here's Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, eastbound 270, Debbie, still closed at Lilac. It's jammed at 367. Still the right lane blocked by this. It looks like a stall, I guess. Eastbound 44 just past Bowles. Traffic's jammed about midway between Antire and 141. Next update at 8:10 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Today is Monday, March 23rd. I'm Megan Lynch. Coming up in the next hour of Total Information AM, how much did March Madness benefit St. Louis? You'll hear from the head of the St. Louis Sports Commission after CBS and KMOX News.
I'm Debbie Monterrey. Automotive recalls have spiked, and KMOX auto expert Greg Damon tells us what he's seeing coming through his shop.
This is AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg. Sun will give way to increasing clouds today, but it will be much colder than recent days, high only 53.
And coming up in CBS News, oil prices fall, stocks soar after President Trump says he's going to postpone attacks on Iranian power plants. We're actually going to ask an expert if the Trump administration misjudged Iran.
News, talk, cards. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. President Trump has made a surprise announcement extending the deadline he'd set for tonight for Iran to reopen the Strait of Hormuz to energy shipments. He says he's giving Tehran 5 more days, citing productive negotiations. Correspondent Ed O'Keefe is at the White House.
Who exactly he's talking to or his administration is talking to, where, if it's direct, if it's indirect, involving what other country, all of that's still unclear this morning. The president likes to surprise us and control this messaging, obviously, so we'll spend the next few hours trying to sort out what exactly may have transpired here.
Iranian media insists there are no talks between Tehran and Washington. The headline on state TV, U.S. president backs down following Iran's firm warning. Futures markets are responding. CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger.
Prior to that announcement, stock futures were looking lower and oil futures were up. Upon the reporting of this information, stocks reversed course. They were down by about 1%. Now they're up by about 1.5% in the pre-market. The oil market, which was rising towards $100 a barrel, that too is reversing.
A deadly crash at LaGuardia Airport in New York overnight.
Stop truck one, stop. Stop truck one, stop.
Live ATC as an Air Canada Express plane collided with a fire truck on the runway. Both pilots were killed. The plane's nose sheared off. Transportation correspondent Chris Van Cleve.
It appears this controller was juggling an awful lot of things by himself. The NTSB will want to understand, was he working alone in the tower last night? You had this United flight. It was taking off. It aborted its takeoff because of a warning light in the cockpit.
Immigration and customs officers have begun deploying to U.S. airports today to try to get those long TSA lines moving. As the partial government shutdown drags on, passengers are mixed about their presence.
If they come here where it's going to make a lot of people scared to travel.
ICE will keep us safe, and I don't have a problem with ICE agents.
Many TSA officers are sticking out. Others have quit because they're not getting paid. Police in London are investigating a suspected anti-Semitic hate crime after 4 vehicles from a Jewish ambulance service were set on fire. Multiple oxygen cylinders inside exploded. Prime Minister Keir Starmer.
My thoughts, I think all of our thoughts, will be with those in the vicinity, the residents who are understandably very concerned. Anti-Semitism has no place in our society.
Windows in buildings nearby shattered. No one was injured. Dow futures up 949 right now. This is CBS News.
Every Sunday, moderator Margaret Brennan goes face-to-face with top leaders to make you better informed. Face the Nation, Sunday on CBS and streaming on Paramount+.
At 8:03, we have partly sunny skies, 39 degrees downtown at the Arch. Today is Monday, March 23rd. I'm Megan Lynch. As TSA officers continue to work without pay, depending on what airport you're flying from, security wait times can be substantial. U.S. Border Czar Tom Homan tells CNN ICE agents will be deployed to U.S. airports at the direction of President Trump today. And he adds ICE agents have already been at some airports.
I mean, there's got TSA agents covering exits, people that enter through the exits. Certainly a highly trained ICE law enforcement officer can cover an exit, makes people don't go through those exits, entering the airport through the exits. And that would stuff like that relieves that TSA officer to go to screening. And to reduce those lines.
KMOX has reached out to Lambert Airport to see if it is one of the airports ICE will be deployed to. We have not heard back. Is a new bill in St. Charles County bringing a surge of ICE agents? Not according to the bill's sponsor, Mike Elam. Elam says the bill is meant to create better collaboration between local law enforcement and Immigration and Customs Enforcement, keeping agents out of St. Charles County.
In Minneapolis is a community that refused to work with the federal government. So the federal government felt they had to put officers, troops, if you will, in those neighborhoods to go do the job.
Elam says his bill will have officers train on what to do in situations that would involve ICE arrives, but they won't be looking for them.
We are not, to be clear, going to be working as ICE in St. Charles County. So you're not going to have our officers coming off their current job and going to patrol neighborhoods looking for people who are undocumented in the neighborhood.
Elam says the bill helps keep St. Charles County as the safest community in the region. 6 people have been shot at Illinois State University. The Normal Police Department responded to multiple shots fired Sunday around 2:40. 6 individuals were found outside a residence with gunshot wounds, 2 juvenile males, 2 adult males, and 2 adult females. All the victims have non-life-threatening injuries. 2 of them have been identified as ISU students. No arrests have been made at this time. 2 men were killed, 3 others injured Sunday afternoon in the 1400 block of North 13th Street by Cass outside of the Smoke Shop. The 2 men killed were 30 and 21 years old. The 3 other victims in critical condition. St. Louis police say it's a result of a gunfight between several people. A 26-year-old man has been taken into custody. The data center debate continues in Jefferson County. There's a public meeting planned at Festus High School tonight at 5.
This is Stuart McMillan. The city of Festus has already scheduled a follow-up meeting for March 30th to possibly make a final decision about the $6 billion data center proposed by CRG. Meetings have been packed recently with unhappy residents against the data center. That's why the bigger venue is needed. Mayor Sam Richards of Festus plans to support the project. The development near Highway 67 could generate $1.3 billion in tax revenue and community benefits over 25 years. Festus would receive $45 million over just a decade, including funds for a new city firehouse. Some are concerned about light and noise pollution, but the plan would allow homeowners who live close to the site the option of being bought out.
Sunday's high winds being blamed for hundreds of homes losing power in the Metro East yesterday. At least 400 customers in Bethalto lost power yesterday afternoon because of downed power lines. Those down lines also sparked a fire that damaged 2 homes. Temperatures yesterday broke a daily record set over 100 years ago in St. Louis. The National Weather Service says the city's high of 90 degrees yesterday broke the 1907 record of 88 degrees. The new high, the second highest temperature ever recorded in March in St. Louis. From the KMOX business desk, the retiring head of St. Louis Public Library proposing a fundraising campaign for an endowment for Central Library. Waller McGuire, who's been director and CEO of the library system since 2004, oversaw the $70 million renovation and restoration of Central Library downtown. In 2012, that received numerous architectural awards and international attention. McGuire tells the Business Journal the building's scale and age make it costly to operate. The endowment, he says, could help share those costs. Last year, Central Library drew more than 250,000 visitors, making it one of the area's biggest attractions. It's 8:07. We'll check traffic and weather in 2 minutes here on Total Information AM.
Hey guys, Kevin Wheeler here. I want to tell you about Burn Balance Complex. It's Burn Balance Edge for men, Burn Balance Zen for women, available at supplement superstores. This is the top of the line, a complete metabolism system, an all natural weight loss option, by the way, for people who don't want to get into prescriptions. If you don't like needles, this is for you. And it gets your metabolism working at peak levels, helps you with appetite control and cravings, all day focused energy. So get out to supplement superstores, tell them Kevin Wheeler sent you, and they will knock 30% off the Burn Balance Complex. To find your location, go to supplementsuperstores.com.
Beat the spring cleaning rush and call Zero Res. This is the perfect time to clean your air ducts as you deal with allergy season, furnace and air conditioning efficiency, post, winter, and more. This month, get a free size upgrade on every whole home air duct cleaning package. Don't you love when you buy your favorite coffee or soda and you get a free size upgrade? Nothing better than getting a large but paying for a medium. That's exactly what Zero Res is doing with their whole home air duct cleaning packages. Pay less for more fresh. Go online at ZeroResSTL.com. Ask for the Dave Glover special.
You can feel the Clydesdales circling the field. Hear the stands come alive. Smell the hot dogs, the popcorn, and cold beer in the air. See the crowd rise as the first pitch hits the glove. And just like that, a new season begins. The countdown is on until opening day, and tickets start at just $49. Don't miss St. Louis's favorite holiday. Get your tickets at cardinals.com/opening day.
Hot matchup, colder drinks, only at Busch Stadium when the Cardinals host the Tampa Bay Rays on Sunday, March 29th. Fans will take home a stainless steel Cardinals tumbler presented by Coca-Cola and Quick Trip, designed to lock in the cold and show off your Cardinals pride. It's the perfect companion for 9 innings and beyond. A practical addition to any Cardinals collection that'll keep you cool all game long. Tickets are available at cardinals.com/promotions.
This is Nolan Gorman. Get your tickets now at cardinals.com.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts. Your morning news and information. Total Information AM.
8:10. We need to check back in with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center. Roger, where are the worst spots this morning?
Well, there's still no change, Megan, on eastbound 270. It's still shut down at Lilac. You have to use the exit and on-ramps to get around it. The backup is still just east of 367, so it hasn't gotten a whole lot worse there. If you're on eastbound Highway 70, that looks good. If you're on eastbound 64, it's a little busy coming through Mason to 270, and then east of Lindbergh through the Interbelt, westbound 64 from about Clayton Skinker out to Hanley slow. South 170 is delays around Brentwood. They finally cleared the incident we had eastbound 44 Bowles. You're still jammed east of Antire to about 141. Then it's picking up the pace. North 270 a little slow through Gravois, and then from Manchester up through Ladue. Northbound 55 Bayless Weber area a little busy. Eastbound 44 getting on to westbound 70 past the Musial Veterans Bridge, a little bit of a backup. And westbound 64 on the Illinois side is just slow briefly past 159, and then just Route 3 to the Poplar. Route 3 backing up just north of 8th Street. Still seeing backed up traffic. I believe it's signal problems. Tesson Ferry near Schuessler. It's backed up northbound at Butler Hill. Next update at 8:20 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, it's going to be colder today. The sun is going to fade, and we'll have increasing cloudiness as we head through the day. A high just 53 degrees today. Mostly cloudy and chilly tonight with an overnight low of 37. And then tomorrow we'll see a mix of sun and clouds, a high of 63. Much warmer by Wednesday. Partly sunny skies, a high of 83. Right now we have partly sunny skies, 39 degrees downtown at the Arch. You're listening to Total Information AM here on KMOX. I'm Megan Lynch. St. Louis tipped off the first 2 rounds of NCAA men's basketball this weekend. What's it mean to the region to host March Madness? Well, joining me now is Mark Schreiber, president of the St. Louis Sports Commission. Mark, thank you so much for taking time with us this morning.
Always good to be with you, Megan. How you doing?
We're doing great. I'm sure you had a crazy busy weekend. Any idea at this point, roughly, of attendance numbers?
Oh yeah, we know the attendance, and attendance was strong. We were at about 93% of capacity, which is great, and in total, over the 3 sessions, over 50,000 fans. So it was a great turnout and a great mix of St. Louisans and out-of-towners. We had just kind of the right mix of teams with strong fan bases. So a great weekend for St. Louis.
I was thinking that with the Billikens competing, that had to be a big draw locally.
Oh yeah, it just, sort of adds to the interest and excitement. And with Mizzou here Friday night, that was an element we weren't expecting. And then to see that selection Sunday that we were going to get the Tigers here, it made the atmosphere inside Enterprise Center Friday night really over the top.
I know probably you won't have some of the final economic figures, but estimates of what you think the economic impact of this weekend will be.
Yeah, if we had to sort of put a guesstimate on it, just based on what we know from past events and what the first, second rounds do and our draw with teams, I'd say it's probably in the $12 to $15 million range. But I think one of the best anecdotes, if you will, that sort of backs that up is I was talking to folks at Union Station, and it was a record-setting weekend for them, for the restaurants and attractions. And so that really says a lot with all that comes through here, and to be able to have a weekend like that for one of our partners in the community, that certainly says a lot.
Of course, this comes on the heels of the U.S. Figure Skating Championship in January. How much, Mark, does each successful event then set us up for that next one?
Well, it's so critical, especially this one as it relates to NCAA events, because this summer we're going to bid on the next cycle of NCAA championships. It's 3 years of bids across all sports. So we needed this to be a solid weekend. And, one of the best things I heard was someone said this validated St. Louis's reputation as a great host city. To have that feedback is tremendously important, and it goes hand in hand with the success of the figure skating championships. And we'll highlight that for our current bid for the Olympic trials, the Olympic marathon trials in 2028, and trying to get the U.S. figure skating championships back in 2030, and on and on. So you're right on with your question.
I'm curious, pull back the curtain for us. What does it actually take to put together a bid for an event? What do you have to include to try to sell St. Louis?
Yeah, there's so many elements that go into it. A lot of it is financial, and that can always be a challenge. Guarantees how well you're going to do with ticket sales and be able to generate revenue. The venue is so important. So, in the case of the events at Enterprise Center, that's such sort of an ace for us. And then it's the hotel package. It's, the marketing plan and so forth. So all those get thrown in. And I should also point out, especially on an event like the first, second rounds, to have the Missouri Valley Conference involved, like they do an impeccable job running the tournament. And that is so key. That's why we hear the feedback we do. And so to have partners like the Missouri Valley Conference and St. Louis U and Enterprise Center and on, and then sort of our civic partners with the police department helping us out so much, and GSL and Explore St. Louis, you put all that together and it really makes for a package that stands out for St. Louis over our competition.
I think one thing that's kind of interesting is we travel to Chicago a lot for our kids' sports. And I think of the cost of just, hotels and eating out, in a city like Chicago. And we're centrally located as well in St. Louis. Do you think that benefits us as far as the visitors come here? They realize that we maybe are a little bit better value when it comes to those kind of cost of living things?
Oh, very much. And that's another key on our NCAA bids. And I'll give you a great example, the NCAA wrestling championships. Our location works out great for that, but costs can be a big factor, especially with that crowd. And much better to have that event in a place like St. Louis than, like you said, a city like Chicago where costs are higher. Certainly, we have an advantage. Now we go up a lot against a lot of mid markets, Indianapolis, Kansas City, Louisville, sort of similar priced markets. But head to head, when we're competing against one of those larger market cities that are going to be costlier, sure, a big advantage for us.
What's the value of the marketing to the sports fan and the images that are seen of St. Louis and this region around the country and the world?
Yeah, I think there's two things right there. One is, I was watching yesterday the TV coverage. Here we are on CBS. We're the only game going on. You're getting these beautiful shots of downtown St. Louis. So right there, it's promotion of our market. But I think the big thing too, and this goes back to when we had the Frozen Four and we surveyed fans on their impressions and people that came here for the first time, 74% of them said St. Louis exceeded the expectations that they had for our region. That's a great number. And that's one of the huge things we can do through the major events that we host is bring people here that may not come here with much of an image of St. Louis, but they leave here loving the city and they go home and they tell their friends and family. And what a wonderful way to help shape St. Louis's narrative than to have that great introduction for fans coming here and have such a wonderful experience. And I think that was repeated over and over this weekend, especially with the fans from Iowa State and Kentucky and Purdue and on and on and on.
Mark, what's the next big event here in St. Louis for the Sports Commission?
So we have the BMW Championship in August at Belle Rive, another sort of blockbuster event. Belle Rive does such a wonderful job with that. And then we host the NCAA Wrestling Championships next March. It'll be our 10th time hosting that event, which brings tens of thousands of visitors. So another great thing for St. Louis.
Again, Mark, really appreciate you getting up with us this morning. I know you had a busy weekend. I appreciate your time.
Of course, Megan. Great to be on the Mighty Mox. Thanks so much.
That is Mark Schreiber, president of the St. Louis Sports Commission, joining us this morning here on KMOX. Well, if you have a fairly new car, you may have noticed that you're seeing more recalls. We're going to talk with KMOX auto expert Greg Damon coming up next here on KMOX. First, though, let's check the cars that are on the roads right now. Roger Brand is in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, there's still no change, Megan, in North County on eastbound 270 at Lilac. Still shut down. It's backed up midway between 367 and Bellefonte Road. Use the exit and on-ramps there. Another problem, earlier it was eastbound 44 to east of Bowles. We had trouble. Now it's a crash. Eastbound 44 west of 141. The left lane's blocked, so traffic's jammed back through Antire as you come up the other side of the hill there on eastbound 44. So a couple miles of traffic. Pretty tough going through there. Unfortunately, northbound 270 north of Doherty Ferry all the way up to Ladue. That's busy. Eastbound 70 looks good coming in from out west. 64, still some slow traffic. McKnight to the Big Bend. Westbound 64, Clayton Skeeter to Hanley. Heavy. South 170 bogged down at Brentwood. 55, a little busy. Bayless to River to Pear. Westbound 64, brief delay at 157. It looks okay coming across the Poplar now. Next update at 8:30 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
We will see some sun, but some clouds as well today. And it's going to be much cooler, a high around 53 degrees, mostly cloudy and chilly tonight, an overnight low of 37. We have partly sunny skies, 39 in downtown St. Louis.
Brought to you by USPS Ground Advantage.
Pump up the volume.
Business moves fast.
Pump up the volume.
When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
A lot of people are getting their air conditioners tuned up and ready to go for the summer, and we're getting a lot of calls of people saying they want a second opinion, to have us come out and requesting us to come out there and take a look at their air conditioners. They've been told that they need a new one, and the repair is quite costly and might be best for them to replace the air conditioner and then repair it. If you're in that situation, please give me a call, because there is truly some opportunities here for you. that we could save you lots of money, because I'm sure you're going to be shocked. We have the equipment that still works best for you with your budget. It's pretty much the best is what I would put in my home, is what I would recommend. Give me a call. It's Bart Inman. One easy number, the easiest number in Missouri and Illinois. That is 314-293-2600. Or the online thing, and that is bartinman.com. That's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
Larry Older here. Let me share Brian's story from Alabama, my mom's home state. He tells us after taking Relief Factor for just 3 weeks, at least 90% of my pain is gone. My pain had started to limit me at work and at home, and now I'm amazed at how much relief I've gotten, end of quote. These are Brian's own words, and they speak volumes about what Relief Factor can do for you. I've told you about my buddy Tom, an avid golfer out on the green almost every single day. He says without Relief Factor, he wouldn't be able to swing freely because of shoulder pain or back pain. But since taking it, he said he stayed active, comfortable, and confident in his swing. He is a scratch golfer. That's why I encourage you to try Relief Factor yourself and see what it can do for you. Don't wait. If you're dealing with daily pain, launch your 3-week quick start and see what Relief Factor can do for you. 800-4RELIEF, 800 the number 4RELIEF, or go to relieffactor.com. That's relieffactor.com. How will it feel to be out of pain? 800-4RELIEF, relieffactor.com.
Every business starts with an idea. With Smart Business Buying from Amazon Business, get everything you need to grow in one familiar place. From office supplies to IT essentials and maintenance tools. Ready to bring your visions to life? Learn how at amazonbusiness.com.
You're back with Total Information AM on KMOX. I'm Megan Lynch. In the last couple of weeks, Hyundai and Ford have recalled hundreds of thousands of vehicles for safety issues. In fact, automotive recalls spiked last year. I asked KMOX auto expert Greg Damon if he's seeing more recalls.
Absolutely. We're seeing definitely more recalls, and it doesn't matter what car manufacturer it is.
Damon is general manager of Sparks Tire and Auto in St. Charles.
We're seeing a lot of stuff for engines and transmissions, or even worse yet, fire risk, to where they've issued don't drive the car, don't park the car inside. If you got an inside garage, don't park it inside there for risk of fire. All sorts of different types of recalls out on the board for, heck, even one manufacturer's got one that the windshield is defective. Steering can come out of control. Airbags, as I said, fires. Some of the Toyota Priuses, the doors may not open properly.
Damon points out there's a difference between a technical service bulletin and advisory and a recall.
So a car recall is when either the vehicle manufacturer or the federal government, via the National Highway Transportation Safety Administration, determines that the vehicle doesn't meet the federal motor vehicle standards. This federal legislation mandates minimum performance requirements for those vehicles' parts that affect safety, such as lighting, brakes, and tires, etc. If a recall is issued, the car manufacturer must either fix the defect or, in most extreme cases, repurchase the vehicle so they aren't on the road.
In the case of Hyundai, they pulled new cars off the lot because of a serious issue with the Palisade SUV. What does Damon think is causing all the problems?
I think one of the big issues is that manufacturers are so rushed to get new technology into cars to try to meet the federal mandate as far as fuel mileage, that they are using, I don't want to say cheaper parts, but they're using different kinds of parts, plastics, a lot more stuff to try to save weight on vehicles today, just to try to meet that federal mandate on fuel economy across the board.
His advice, if you do get a recall notice?
It's really kind of critical, if you do have a recall, to get it in, get that taken care of, get it looked at, make sure that you're going to be safe on there. And for your listeners out there that are interested to see if their car does need a recall, super easy to do. All you have to go to is to a website called safercar.gov, safercar.gov. They can type in the vehicle identification number and it will tell you if there's any open recalls on your car.
And if you're told not to drive, how seriously should you take that?
100% seriously, because that means that there is a major defect in your vehicle. And if you drive that, it could injure yourself or somebody else, or the car could completely stop and you can be involved in an accident. So any sort of do not drive recall, immediately do not drive the car.
Damon adds recalls never expire. Manufacturers have to repair no matter how old the car or when that recall was issued. One note, in some cases, you may wait some time for replacement parts and repairs. It's now 8:27. This time check sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Tom Ackerman here, always happy to talk about my friend Jim Brennan and his great company, McKelvey Homes. Jim is president of McKelvey Homes, born and raised in St. Louis. He knows the area as well as anyone. And he knows that McKelvey Homes, building these homes, move-in ready homes right now, to-be-built homes on incredible home sites, has the best. They have been around the longest, 1898, Missouri's oldest home builder. They have a stellar reputation. And right now, through the end of this month, celebrating 1898, the year they were founded, with their 1898 sale. That means $18,980 off to-be-built homes here in the St. Louis area. Just an incredible array of home sites that Jim and his team find and build on. It is a wonderful company that I highly recommend. They are McKelvey Homes. You can see all of their home sites. Their homes are spectacular, and you could read about the sale by going to McKelveyHomes.com. That's McKelveyHomes.com. Move up to McKelvey.
Ever notice how your floors still look dirty even after you mop?
Yeah, what's up with that?
Swiffer Power Mop gives you a deeper clean you can actually see.
I'm listening.
Unlike string mops, Swiffer Power Mop absorbs more dirt and locks it away, even in those hard-to-reach spots.
Like behind the toilet?
Exactly. The new micro scrubbers deliver thousands of tiny deep cleaning actions, so your floors look, smell, and feel clean.
Bye-bye, dirty floors. Hello, Swiffer Power Mop.
Try the Swiffer Power Mop. Love it or your money back.
I'm Boomer Esiason. My mom died from cancer. She was only 37 years old. She didn't have life insurance, and that was devastating for my family. That's why having life insurance is so important to me. Ethos makes it fast and easy. Get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. You can get up to $3 million in coverage with no medical exam.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/protect. That's ethos.com/protect. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
For 100 years, KMOX has been a part of St. Louis. Now, those moments live on, preserved, remastered, and ready to be heard again. Discover KMOX from the Archives, a podcast featuring classic audio from a century of service.
Sponsored by Overhead Door Company of St. Louis, the genuine, the original.
The KMOX from the Archives podcast, available now at KMOX100.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hi, this is Steve Butts from the Crawford Butts Insurance Agency. In 2026, our agency celebrates a momentous occasion as we celebrate 65 years of service to our clients, a tribute to our founder and my dad, Nor Butts. Our staff is ready to assist you with all your insurance needs. So please call me, Steve Butts, at 314-752-2500 or at crawfordbutts.com. For auto, home, and commercial insurance needs, that's crawfordbutts.com.
8:30. It's not been smooth sailing in some places on this Monday morning. Let's get the latest on your morning commute with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Yeah, you're right, Megan. It is still not in North County. This traffic reports a service of the St. Louis Work Zone Awareness 5K and 1 mile fun run. That'd be eastbound 270, still shut down at Lilac. Use the exit and on ramps to get around that closure. It's still jammed at 367. Good news for 44 drivers. They just cleared a couple of minutes ago that crash we had eastbound 44 west on 141. It's still stop and go, though, back through Antire. Take a few minutes for that to thin out, obviously. Northbound 270 through Doherty Ferry, midway up to Manchester, and then Manchester up to Ladue, still busy. Eastbound 64, a little crowded around the Interbelt. Westbound 64, Hampton to Hanley, there's still a couple of slowdowns. They're doing road work on 370 near Truman. Only left lane's open, so it's a little heavy through there. And just a little slowdown, westbound 64 at the 70 split so far for you downtown. Next update at 8:40 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Help us raise awareness for safe driving as the construction season kicks off with the St. Louis Work Zone Awareness 5K and 1 mile fun run. Saturday, April 25th in Chesterfield. And please buckle up, phone down so we all get home safe. Brought to you by Missouri Coalition for Roadway Safety.
From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, colder today with a high of 53. We'll see quite a bit of clouds, mostly cloudy tonight, chilly, an overnight low of 37. We're looking for a high of 61 tomorrow and then warmer on Wednesday with a high of 83. Right now we have partly sunny skies, 39 degrees in downtown St. Louis. As you've heard on KMOX and CBS News this morning, President Trump is extending his deadline for Iran to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. And some people are asking if the U.S. misjudged Iran in going to war at all. Odyssey's Bob Brill spoke to an expert about that.
When Iran faced off against Iraq for 8 years, Saddam Hussein had the fourth largest military in the world, yet Iran fought them to a standstill for nearly a decade. Did the U.S. misjudge the will of the Iranians this time? Orzu Daragahi is an Iranian-American foreign correspondent based in Istanbul.
I think it definitely did. I think it looked at the January protests, which were, legitimate and popular, an upswelling of popular opposition to the regime. I think it looked at that and saw that Iran was in a moment of weakness, and it thought that it had an opportunity to basically hit the regime when it was down. What it didn't account for was the exaggerated perceptions of those opposition protests by the people in the diaspora and the will of the Iranian regime, as well as the capability of the regime to not only put down those protests, but to defend the country against any kind of foreign intrusion.
Iranians, also known as Persians, ruled parts of the Middle East dating back to 485 BC. He says it is partially a matter of fierce pride.
Yeah, I think there is some of that. There's a lot of that. I think there's a lot of people inside the country who are in favor of the war, actually. That's how badly the regime has managed to fray relations with the people. But yes, especially in the armed forces, especially into certain segments of society, there is a real strong nationalism. In addition, even those people who were alienated by the regime during the January protests, some of them are rallying around the regime, even reluctantly at this point, because they see the country is under attack. And will they join in the fighting if it turns into a ground fighting, if it turns into sort of a ground invasion or something like that? That remains unclear, but they are definitely not heading out into the streets and protesting as the bombs are dropping.
So how did this happen?
I think that they cut out the normal interagency intelligence collation process in Washington was short-circuited. You had people like Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff, who are essentially, I don't know how else to put it, Israeli assets, gaslighting Trump. You had him basically fed a steady diet of Fox News and other media personalities who are also, under the control of Israeli influencers, essentially gaslighting him into deciding this war. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not Joe Kent. I'm not saying that, they manipulated him or controlled a good man or something like that.
And how do we get out?
I think that there has to be kind of an honorable, face-saving diplomatic solution that is agreeable to both sides. Both the United States and Iran have to be able to claim victory and then walk away from this. The X factor in all of this, however, is Israel. Will Israel sign off to such a deal?
Neither side can be humiliated if this is to end.
It's now 8:35. Your Money Report is next.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team. Build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. And you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Your Money Report now, sponsored by Eamon Gattner and Capriano Elder Law Attorneys. Here's Bloomberg's Courtney Donahoe.
A massive turnaround for stocks this morning. President Trump has ordered the Pentagon to postpone military strikes against power plants and energy infrastructure in Iran for 5 days. In a social media post, he added the two sides have held productive conversations about how to end the war. Earlier, stock futures were lower as the conflict appeared to be escalating, but now spiking higher on the news. On the other hand, oil plunging. U.S. crude is now at $90 a barrel. Energy markets have been pitched into turmoil since the conflict began at the end of February, with the vital Strait of Hormuz waterway all but blocked. And Pfizer says its experimental Lyme disease vaccine was 73% effective against the illness. Pfizer says it's confident in the vaccine's potential and plans to submit it to regulatory authorities. There's currently no human vaccine for Lyme disease on the market. The CDC estimates that about 476,000 people are diagnosed and treated for it each year. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
News stories this morning that the housing market nationwide has really been slowing down. What does that mean for you if you need to sell a home? Well, that is just more reason why you need the right agent, and that is Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, because you should definitely make some phone calls, interview some agents that you feel comfortable working with, but I don't think you're going to find other agents who are going to guarantee in writing to sell your home or they'll buy it from you themselves. That gives you some peace of mind. That is the guarantee in Your Home Sold Guaranteed. Plus, Gloria Liu will guarantee that she'll sell your home at 100% of market value, or she'll pay you the difference. She can make those promises because she and her team sell hundreds of homes a year, not just a few or a few dozen. So give her a call, talk about your situation and what you'd like to do. Her number is 314-325-6888, 314-325-6888. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date. Find her online right now at gloriahasthebuyers.com.
This is Congressman Bob Onder. Tax season is here, and Missouri families are already seeing the real impact of the Working Families Tax Cut Act. House Republicans are delivering real results for hardworking Missourians. According to the Council of Economic Advisors, the bill is projected to raise wages in Missouri by about $3,000 to $6,000 over the next 4 years. That's more money for groceries, gas, and greater security for your family's future. In Congress, I'm working to protect working families, strengthen our economy, and ensure you are keeping more of your hard-earned money.
Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
What a beautiful spring. Hi, I'm Tim Gamma from Gamma Tree Experts. When it comes to tree care, don't let a rookie with a chainsaw pinch it for you. Always lead off with the pros from Gamma Tree Experts. Call our team of certified arborists to inspect your valuable trees and shrubs today. Knowledge and quality are hallmarks of our reputation for 60 years. For pruning, fertilization, or removal, call today at 314-725-6159 or visit us at gammatree.com. Your trees deserve the best care.
Backed by popular demand, don't miss Blues Mystery Hat Giveaway Night. Join us April 7th as the Blues battle the Avalanche and take home an exclusive mystery hat to add to your collection. The first 10,000 fans will receive one of 3 hat styles, courtesy of Ticketmaster. The hats represent 3 eras of Blues hockey, and each features a stitched wordmark and logo from that era. Mystery hats are only available during this game, so get your tickets now at stlouisblues.com.
I'm Ultima Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Every time one of my children started driving, it was terrifying. Thousands of accidents happen across the country. We see it every day. If you've been injured in a car accident, call us.
Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
This is 104.1 FM KMOX. Here's what's happening. Closing arguments scheduled in a landmark trial where New Mexico prosecutors are accusing social media conglomerate Meta of misleading people about the safety of its platforms for children. Studio estimates on Sunday say Amazon's MGM's Project Hail Mary has topped the North American box office charts with $80.5 million in ticket sales. And on Friday, Netflix will release a documentary about the biggest band in K-pop, BTS. Quick check of the roads now with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Megan, there's still no change in North County, unfortunately, on eastbound 270. This traffic reports service of the Sandberg Phoenix Law Firm. It's still closed at Lilac. You have to use the exit and on-ramps to get off the highway and get back on. It's jammed back to 367. Want to talk about our USPS Ground Advantage reliable route? You got a few options in North County. You can take 367 northbound to Dunn or southbound down to Chambers and go east from there to Lilac, or if you want the interstate option, obviously easygoing eastbound 70 through downtown. Just a little slow on the Illinois side through Packers Avenue in that construction zone as that alternate route. Still seeing a little bit of a jam up eastbound 44 coming into Antire. Looks like there may be a new incident there. Just a short backup coming up the Antire Hill on the west side. Once you get through Antire, it looks like you're good to go. Northbound 270, Manchester up to Ladue, still busy. Eastbound 64, still a little slow through 170 as well. I'm Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
At Sandberg Phoenix, we're more than just a law firm. We're partners committed to you, your business, and your community. From family law to litigation, we're ready to serve. Visit sandbergphoenix.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertising.
We'll see quite a few clouds today, a little bit of sun as well, but it will be colder than it has been over the weekend. A high just 53 degrees today. Right now, partly sunny skies, 39 degrees downtown at the Arch. You're listening to Total Information AM. Here's Debbie Monterrey.
I got an interesting piece of jewelry recently in a swag bag, and attached to it was information about who made that jewelry. And it was from Foray, Forai, foray.org. And it's a nonprofit based in Kirkwood. And the founder and executive director is Jennifer Owens. Jen, thanks for joining us.
Oh, you're so welcome. I'm glad to get to talk with you.
Well, first of all, explain what your organization is all about.
So Foray is all about providing a way for women who have been resettled here in St. Louis as refugees or immigrants, and they are women who are not able to work full-time outside the home. And so we provide a way for them to have the dignity of earning income for their family through home-based income generation, producing jewelry like the piece that you received in your bag, as well as sewing. So we have artisans who are part of our jewelry team, artisans who are part of our sewing team, but it's also in the context of community. So through paid training every month and additional opportunities for interaction with people in the St. Louis community, they're able to really put down roots here, assimilate, and feel that they're part of this new community instead of staying isolated.
And the jewelry that they make or the things that they sew are available at a store in Kirkwood. Is that correct?
Yes, they are. Last summer, we opened our first retail space in Kirkwood at 211 South Kirkwood Road. So it's called Foray Jewelry, Home, and Gifts. But it's also available online at foray.org. And then we often, we've been doing this for many years, we participate in pop-ups around the city. Like we'll be at Tower Grove Farmers Market for Mother's Day weekend, and we'll participate in several other events throughout the year on those outdoor markets.
How long have you been running Foray, and what was the thing that made you hit upon this as an idea?
Yeah, Foray started in October of 2009, and it really all began, I like to say it began with Thanksgiving, and with kind of a double meaning there. But my family had the privilege of hosting two newly arrived families around our Thanksgiving table after an invitation from our church. And these families had they'd only been in the U.S. for about 2 weeks. They had been refugees in camps in Nepal and had been there for a really long time. And one of the families was headed by a single mom who had two school-age children. Her husband had passed away in the camp. She had lived in this camp for 17 years, and she had very little formal, maybe second grade education back in Bhutan. She had been part of a group that was just driven out of Bhutan and had to settle in these refugee camps. And honestly, I just could not quit thinking about her. And so I just began praying and asking God if there was something that he wanted me to do, some way that is there some possible way that I could help women in her position? And the ideas just started flooding into my mind of how we can work with our hands. Maybe we can teach women to sell things or help them with things they already know how to make. And we can help them generate some kind of income. And we went to our church had gotten connected with folks resettled from Nepal, folks resettled from Myanmar, and a few African countries. And we just went to them to ask, what if we gathered women together once a month? Would you come? Would you be interested? And the response was really positive. And so in October of 2009, we launched our first gathering down at a church, New City Fellowship in South City. And the rest is history.
I was almost a little hesitant to highlight Foray and the work that you're doing because some attitudes about immigrants and refugees have certainly changed over the last few years. And I know some refugees and immigrants feel in danger. So how do you deal with that?
Well, it's certainly true. There are many people who are in danger. I know a family in our own church community who he's been deported. So it's a reality. It brings tears to my eyes when I think about it. But I think in terms of engaging with the St. Louis community, they've always been very open and welcoming. And for those who may not be as much, I think it's often just a point of not really having information, not knowing someone personally. I mean, we're all changed when we are in relationship with someone else. If I know someone who's been resettled here and I hear their story, it changes me and it changes my perspective. And when I have a chance to engage with facts and not just, a talking point here, on whatever, social media algorithm you're dialed into, that changes me too. And so I would certainly encourage listeners to try to engage with people who've been resettled here and know them personally, and engage with organizations if you're a faith-based person, I recommend worldrelief.org. If you're, not, then rcusa.org is also a great place to actually get facts about the refugee and immigrant crisis, and then make decisions and align your thinking with those actual facts.
Foray is Friends of Refugees and Immigrants, and they do have a store in Kirkwood and also online, FORAI.org. Shop with intention, shop with impact, shop Foray. Jennifer Owens is the founder and executive director. Thanks for sharing your story with us this morning.
Oh, thanks so much for asking me.
Larry Older here. Let me share Brian's story from Alabama, my mom's home state. He tells us after taking Relief Factor for just 3 weeks, at least 90% of my pain is gone. My pain has started to limit me at work and at home, and now I'm amazed at how much relief I've gotten, end of quote. These are Brian's own words, and they speak volumes about what Relief Factor can do for you. I've told you about my buddy Tom, an avid golfer out on the green almost every single day. He says without Relief Factor, he wouldn't be able to swing freely because of shoulder pain or back pain. But since taking it, he said he stayed active, comfortable, and confident in his swing. He is a scratch golfer. That's why I encourage you to try Relief Factor yourself and see what it can do for you. Don't wait. If you're dealing with daily pain, launch your 3-week quick start and see what Relief Factor can do for you. 800-4RELIEF, 800-4RELIEF, or go to relieffactor.com. That's relieffactor.com. How will it feel to be out of pain? 800-4RELIEF, relieffactor.com.
Ready to hit a home run with your backyard? Call Artistic Decks. We're celebrating 25 years of A-plus service with massive rollback pricing. Get a professional custom-built deck for less. Hit it out of the park with Artistic Decks. Call 314-280-0821 today.
Join us for the Rally With Us MLB Opening Day events on March 25th, 9 to 1 p.m. at the Rally House Brentwood Point location. There'll be a live broadcast, giveaways, and the first 100 customers through the doors receive a Rally House Opening Day scratcher ticket. And don't forget to pick up your Opening Day gear while you stop in. Rally House is your home for outrageously authentic Cardinals gear, on-field hats, jerseys, and apparel straight from the source. For more info, KMOX.com/events.
Thanks for listening to Total Information AM. I'm Megan Lynch. We've been telling you this morning about a relatively new nonprofit organization called Blind and Low Vision Community of Missouri. It's a member organization that advocates for the blind. And while you might think people without sight have plenty of resources, that's not the case. Our Maria Kina spoke with the president and founder, Jeff Creech, of the Blind and Low Vision Community of Missouri.
When you talk about like the things that you're doing and advocating for in Jefferson City, how difficult is it to break through that wall up there?
Well, it's pretty difficult. Right now, there's a bill that Representative, I think, Tim Taylor has put out. The state of Missouri has what's called blind pension. So if you are legally blind and meet all the criteria, the state gives you a stipend every month to help with your bills and transportation, because transportation is our biggest hurdle. And it is a constitutional guarantee, and it goes off of property taxes. So 3 cents of every $100 is put aside for the blind pension statewide. Well, the bill that he's proposed does away with the constitutional guarantee. It does away with personal property tax. And if it passes, the blind citizens of Missouri are no longer guaranteed their blind pension. It goes into a general allocation, and if our legislature determines they need the money somewhere else, there is no constitutional guarantee to stop that. So we're fighting really hard to stop this particular bill from happening.
You had mentioned you and your partner founded the organization. Do you have, I take it you serve as like your own lobbyist. Do you have any others or any kind of a lobbyist group?
No, as a nonprofit 501, we cannot attain lobbyist or lobbyist groups legally. So we do it ourselves. Jeff City has an annual disability day at the Capitol, and we send people there to speak with legislators and representatives in person. Other than that, it's all by telephone and email.
This has got to be pretty frustrating for the blind community. The fact that certainly things are not geared to make it easier for you to be productive citizens.
Correct. A perfect example, I had to do blood work, and we went to a lab, and it's a kiosk. So luckily, my better half was with me. She was able to scan my driver's license and everything we had to do, and it still wasn't easy for her, even though she's sighted. When we finished, she turned around, and on the wall, in print, it says, if you're sight impaired, press these 2 buttons for the kiosk to talk.
Well, how are you supposed to read that if you're blind?
Exactly.
Oh my gosh.
So it is very, very frustrating. Another area is voting. All the polls have a blind-friendly voting machine. 80% of them do not work. Whether the poll people don't know how to set them up, they're missing a keyboard or a part, they're always there. They're usually under the table, not even set up because they don't work. So we have to rely on a sighted person to mark the ballot for us. And we're just hoping that they did what we asked.
That is Maria Kina with President and founder Jeff Creech of the Blind and Low Vision Community of Missouri.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Health Trends, sponsored by Wesley Financial.
If you snore, you're in some noisy company, with some 90 million Americans reporting snoring at one time or another. Common causes include congestion, anatomy,